stars say night. Saw blue in finals and field day again. Still a proud Jenner, won't let it end. Talks baseball more than he checks his SWR. But he'll snag that contact from a mile far. Stars roll slow through the woods and mud. Mass plates on the FJ's harsh from the crud. He'll find a path where the signal roam with the cops seek out from his overland home. We're calling CQ, the signal's wide. From the coast to the pines on the mountainside. We're a band of hands with stories to share. Tossing wire in trees, putting watts in the air. Once a month we fire up the screen. It's Northeast Ham Radio, with legends convene. To antennas and trees and friends on the air. Signals we chase, it's the ways we share. We laugh, we learn, sometimes we swear. But every month you know we'll be there. This is Northeast Ham Radio. Pull up a chair.
And we're live.
Hey.
Holy smokes, who's running this show anyways?
A bunch of rookies.
Bunch of amateurs.
Get out of my head.
Welcome to everyone in the audience. This is going to be a fun evening, and I'm going to be in rare form. I'm just going to start it off and say I've been up since 4 a.m. For my club's Hamfest and stuff. So, but it was a great time, and now I can finally enjoy some drinks. And
Why
relax.
is Jabberjaws? Shannon is saying no sound.
We'll turn up your volume. Okay, there you go. She's got it. Jeez. We talk about us being amateurs.
Oh my gosh!
These-
Like, way to make me all paranoid.
Yeah, right? Like, why is there no audio, man?
And I thought I was all scared. Like, I was the first one backstage, and I was scrambling to get in, and I was like, wait, where is everybody?
Oh, Izzo's here.
Now it's a party.
There we go. What's up, my buddy Don?
I'm not driving no bus. Just remember that. I'm not driving no bus. I'll sit in the first seat, but I'm not going to drive the bus.
Yeah.
You sit behind the bus driver so you don't get in trouble.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, hey, let's start off real quick. What's everyone drinking, smoking, or eating on? What you got over there in a cup around a plate there, Shin? Oh, okay. We'll start with Tortoise. He wants to do show and tell.
Ladies
I got
first,
some
you know.
Filt lifter.
Oh, that looks good.
Is that in honor of the Tartan Army coming to Boston?
No, I drank this in honor of our beloved brother Paul, N1OG, kill lifter.
Nice. I like Ambers. I like the beers too.
You know what? It's only 6.5. It's only 6.5, and I got a couple Voodoo Rangers in there that are like 10, and they kick my ass. This doesn't.
Sweet. Good stuff. I called on you first, Shannon. What you got? You got a good cider
Shannon.
over there?
You know, I am super basic, and I just have like High Noon vodka seltzer that you can't really see because of my background. But yeah, you know, I went to the adult beverage store after everything, right? So
The Packy. You went to the Packy. You went to the
Packy.
You went to the Packy.
Well, I call it the adult beverage store because I don't want Miles to go around saying like my mommy's going to the Packy.
Oh my God!
It
You know what?
sounds so
No,
bad.
Say Packy, because I so want to hear that.
You know, so I say that I'm going to the adult beverage store. But then, you know, so if you guys were watching N1JUR earlier, you know, I have been like on a live stream since, you know, 10 o'clock this morning.
Earth.
And even before then, I was, you know, getting to the Charles River Museum of Industry and Innovation, got there a little bit after 8:30 to help set up and do everything else. Then Eric ordered us lunch. The lunch never came because the DoorDash guy couldn't get through the festival or something. We don't know what the issue was there. So after we got all packed up and everything, I got Miles is starving. I'm starving. I'm going to Chipotle. I had to get gas because I had like an eighth of a tank left. My gas light was on. Then I had to go to Chipotle, get food. Then I went to the adult beverage store and got my adult beverages. And I figured like there's no point in me getting anything like too crazy. Don't get like a big case of anything because I'm leaving on Monday in 2 days. What is this? Alcohol is going to sit in my fridge for 2 months. So that was the story with that. I tried to find another sour. I got this sour ale last week that, it was a little too sour for me, but I bought it for the art on the can. It was called Miss Frizzle and it had a rainbow, magic school bus on it. And I was like, how can I not get this? But it was a little too sour for me.
Cool. What about you, Rabbit?
Agua. Just water tonight. I got a long drive in the morning.
Gotcha. I got this. I got some craft beers. I was trying to think, has it been in the video yet or not? Video that's going to be out Tuesday night before Clubhouse is my experience in the VHF contest, and I hit up a brewery in the Finger Lakes after, and I got some beers there. So this is a ale aboard. This is from Twisted Rail Brewing in Canandaigua, right on the lake, and this is just an American pale ale, and I got some lagers there as well. But it was my treat to myself after a hard day doing both a POTA and a soda for the VHF contest, was to swing by a craft brewery right on the lake and grab some cold ones. So what do you got in your hand there, Izzo?
Let's see. This is the Jaime Garcia from AJ Fernandez, one of my favorites. I'm just drinking ginger ale. I worked from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then I gotta be back tomorrow. So I just want to chill. Just want to relax. I do want to hear more about how Shannon and Eric did.
Yeah.
My goal was, because I'm in the process of resurrecting the old Eagle One vertical antenna. I couldn't get it done as of last night because I wanted to bring it to work, set it all up, and then try to listen to them, which I knew would have been a stretch anyway. But I said maybe on 40, if they operate anything on 40, there's a good chance. 20, probably not. What else is going on? Tortoise. I haven't seen Tortoise in a long time, man. You look great. I hope everything's going well with you. Uh-oh, I don't hear a Tortoise.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't tell him we can't hear him.
Let him ride all night.
There you go. And I want to know with these festive shirts between Mike and Rabbit, y'all wearing these nice. Should I go in and?
I totally
change my
forgot
shirt?
that I said that we should all wear Hawaiian shirts because the thumbnail, and I meant to order a Hawaiian shirt or a Hawaiian dress from Amazon, and I totally forgot. It's just there's been way too much going on.
You're forgiven. You're forgiven. It's all good. Rabbit and I will hold it down.
I can run inside. I can run in and just put on my party festive shirt. I can do it.
Is that the one with it from was it the Christmas clubhouse where it was the flamingos or whatever?
I got
was that the sweater?
That was a sweater.
So I know you had the screen share up there for a minute, Mike, and if you're in the Discord, then you saw that I think I found the official ale of next weekend, ARRL Field Day, from Berkshire Brewing Company, Field Day Summer Ale. I was like, are these people hams? Do they know?
Nice.
Somebody needs to buy this, and they need to drink it on Field Day and take some pictures and post them. I think it would be very funny.
I'll have to, if I see that out, I would totally pick it up.
Oh, I tell it, me too.
So I don't know, I don't know where they distribute it. I'm sure you can look up Berkshire Brewing Company and get a list of distributors. And, if they don't have it in your area, then maybe you can request it.
I have actually been to Berkshire a long time ago. Many, many years ago. That's actually good to know that they're still out and stuff in business because I like some of their beers. Very good. Well, Shannon, Izzo kind of set the stage.
Trying to
Share,
say something. I was muted.
yeah.
Never mind. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I was muted. I didn't realize it.
I guess
Yeah,
you don't
that's
listen
weird.
because we said we couldn't hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I'm just stupid.
Am I the only one here?
What?
Yeah, I'm
What
sorry.
is?
Huh?
Go ahead, Don.
Okay.
No, what? Yeah,
I'm going.
okay, what?
I'm going crazy here.
What's that, Don?
I'm hearing other people's audio. Is it
How
just
are you
me?
people?
Like
No, I hear
hearing
it.
show
dude.
audio.
Somebody's mic is probably picking up the sound and not doing a noise cancellation.
Don't do it.
All right.
1, 2,
It could possibly be me. I don't know. Is that any better?
1, 2. It got reduced
Okay.
Is it back now?
because I have a button down here that says "Listen to offstage feeds." I don't know whether I want that enabled or not.
No, you don't.
Okay, because I didn't want to cancel the show either. I didn't want to do anything stupid like hit a
Yeah,
button.
stay away from that big red button up at the top of the screen. Don't
see.
touch
That's
that.
that's what you don't tell me.
Is it when I turn it down though? Is it making me too quiet?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
then I can't do that.
because we
What
got to
happened-
hear that.
What
whole
happens when you
Boston
push that
accent.
button, Izzo? Did you push it or not?
I
Don't push that
disabled
button.
it. I did not enable it.
Okay.
Listen, if it's only me, I'll deal with it. Just
I hear a little
listen,
bit of like an echo, but I can live with it.
I mean, I'm almost like an airline pilot. You know how they have to hear each other or themselves.
Is that better? No more echo?
That's still there.
No, it's still there.
I don't hear it.
That's
Well,
weird.
we all should have just got here
Yeah.
15 minutes before the show started, and this would have been. We could have worked this out. So
Hey,
You
it's
know,
okay.
you're absolutely right.
We're
Don.
doing it with talk back on.
You know, I don't hear
reverb.
it.
Reverb.
So
Oh Lord. Hey. So Rabbit, before we get started, somebody was on your stream, not mine, and that was all those talking shits earlier. And what's funny is this person isn't. They were definitely talking shit. She's no longer in your stream, but she said I can't talk any shit about her because she's in the helicopter flying and she can't hear me. So I'm going to make the can sign, and no, you can't hear me.
Oh, that's great.
So
Nice.
that's literally what she says. You better not talk shit about me. I can't hear it. So don't anybody talk shit about Tracy. And Shannon, you have a #1 fan with Tracy, by the way. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
okay.
All right, Shannon, you gotta
someone else
fill
in.
us in on what happened today.
Yeah, really, please. What happened? How did it go?
Yep.
Okay. So
Take us from the beginning.
First of all, Shannon Jabberjaws had a very important question. She wanted to know, how did my test go?
I agree.
So,
First and foremost.
for anybody who maybe doesn't know or didn't remember, yesterday I took my UK full license exam. I studied for it for, about, 10 to 12 days straight there. And I am happy to say that I passed. So, I'm just waiting for my candidate number to update in Ofcom. Thank you. So once my candidate number updates in Ofcom, then I can apply for my new full license call sign. So
Awesome.
I have been stalking their website for it to update. But since I took it yesterday, it was 1:30 our time. So it was like 6:30 their time. So like they were probably already closed and everything. So my guess is like maybe it's not going to update until Monday. So we'll see.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So-
hey, we found it very interesting that you studied through AI.
Yes.
And I thought that was an interesting option. Would you do it? Yeah, I'm saying, would you do it for other learning certifications? Do you think, or?
Yeah, so what I did, I can't remember if we talked about this on Northeast Ham Radio last time. I know I talked about it on Brew and Activate quite a bit. Was, we all know and love ham study, right? It helps you memorize the answers to the questions, and then it also has, a mode where you can get more information about the answer. Why is this the correct answer? Things of that nature. So I ended up vibe coding my own RSGB full license test trainer, sort of using ham studies methods of, showing you a number of questions. If you get the question wrong, it shows it to you more frequently. If you get the question right, it shows it to you less frequently. Basically until I memorized all 500 and whatever it was questions that were in the question pool. I can tell you right now how many questions were in the question pool. So I used that. Yeah. So it was 571 questions in the full license question pool for the UK full license. Um, and yeah, so a lot of it is just memorization anyway, right? Is like you're memorizing licensing conditions, operating procedures, band plans, and you really don't even have to memorize the band plans and stuff because they give you the EX309 reference material that you can look at during the test. That's allowed. You don't even have to memorize the formulas because they give you a formula sheet that has all the formulas on it. It's just you have to know what formula to use when and how to use it. So when I was coming across questions that I didn't really understand what was the right answer or how to find the right answer, I tried to write into the program to integrate AI, but it was a little too complicated because it kept saying like it wasn't going to be secure. It was going to release like APIs or something like that. So what I did was if I came across a question that I didn't understand, I took a screenshot of the question. I uploaded it to Google AI, and Google AI was very good at reading the question, looking at the answers, telling me what was the correct answer and why that was the correct answer. So I used that for quite a few of the math questions. Because one thing I'm very bad at is trying to transpose a formula. So like if the formula is written and you're solving for F, but then you need to change it and solve for, capacitance instead of frequency, I'm like, I have no idea how to switch that around. We haven't done algebra since high school, and that was over 20 years ago, right? So,
let me chime in here. That is not algebra. That is just basic math. 1 divided by 1 equals the other.
Yeah, but when you have to take the denominator and switch it over to the numerator, and then you have to do, cross multiplication, I'm like, whoa, this is not anything that I have looked at for a very long time.
Look at Tortoise. Tortoise is going to fall off the edge.
Oh my God.
I agree with her. This is not 2 trains leave Boston. One's going to go to Providence and make 4 stops, and the other one's going to go, but turn around but go to Foxwoods because there's a New England Patriot game. And this is Shannon. Is this certification that you got? Would you say it's the equivalent to the United States extra?
I think it's harder.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think.
Yeah, I think the European one is harder because they want to make sure you know what the hell you're doing. For the upper licenses, for the basic license, it's kind of like, get in here, learn, and as you learn, you'll grow. Sort of like us, but just like the general and the extra license, there's a lot of math in there, man. And Shannon, I hate to break your heart, but I use most of the radio formulas at least once a week.
Do you really?
Still. Yeah, but is that because you do it for work?
Yes.
But I don't. see, that's the difference. If you do it for
It's not
work,
muscle.
then that's good. That's great. You're keeping it fresh in your mind.
Muscle memory, yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, I don't, I'm not calculating the, resistance and capacitance and,
No, she's not.
the
She's
reactance
calculating the
of-
distance to the adult beverage store. That's
Yeah.
also, and how much gas she's going to get on the
Exactly.
Subaru, and how much time did she have because Miles is at school and she's got to go run in and run out. I'm sure there's an algebra formula for that, but it doesn't apply for antennas.
Yep. So, thank you, Izzo, for being so understanding, unlike Tortoise.
I am no honestly because when I looked at the entire syllabus for the extra, I can't do it right now. There's just too much going on in my personal life and my professional life for me to take the time. It's not an excuse. I've resolved it. I'm now in my life is not the time. But I did look at the syllabus real hard. 50% of it, if we were to take all that what we consider the ridiculous stuff that we don't use and this and that, I'm going to pass that test. You get me into that whole. You get me into the hardcore stuff. Probably the stuff that Tortoise uses every day. It's a.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I mean, if you use it, you don't lose it, and if you don't, I mean, if you use it,
It makes
just to
sense.
test-
It makes
Yeah.
sense, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
if you use it just to get to your test, and then once you do your test, you're like, I'm not going to use it again. Well,
I didn't learn a single equation for the extra. Not a single one.
Don't tell me that. Every once in a while, someone tells me that.
No, Izzo, I memorized the answers. I found some sort of item in the question that would link me to the answer, and because I'm horrible at math. Unless it's pump calculations, I'm horrible at it. Or drug calculations, I can do that.
The GPM over here of this hose
Right.
exactly. I get
I tell you
that.
about friction loss, I got you. But I just memorized the answers because I'm horrible at math. Horrible.
Yeah. Anyway, but
You know
Shannon.
you can have enough.
So more importantly, this is about Shannon, guys. I think it's great not only that because you're going to be going over there now for 2 months. You're going to have an opportunity to do some fun radio stuff as well as regular stuff. But you add in the ham radio component of your trip. I think
Yeah.
this is absolutely fantastic. This is like a wonderful life experience for you.
Yeah, so I could have done radio before, right? Anyway, I was an intermediate. I was able to transmit 100 watts on basically every band available, except I couldn't use 60 meters. But now I'm a full, so now I can use 60 meters and I can transmit up to 1,000 watts. Now, am I going to have the ability to transmit 1,000 watts? Am I going to have a amplifier with me that can do that? No, probably not. But just the fact that I could do it if I wanted to. Now I always have full. I never have to worry about it again. I don't have to change my full UK call sign ever again. So I'm just good to go, and I'm happy about that. And now everybody's asking, what are you going to study next? Now everybody wants me to study Morse code. I'm like, can I just relax and not study anything for a minute? Well, and that's sort of a good segue for going into what we did today.
Yeah.
So, we went to the Charles River Museum of Industry and Innovation. This was on Eric's recommendation because I guess he manages the internet there, and he has a contact who's the director of the museum, and the director's name is Bob Perry.
Where
So-
is the museum?
Wait. I'm sorry. Stop. I had it wrong. I thought this was like he was the janitor or the security guard for like night at the museum. I thought he was like. I thought Eric was like the Ben Stiller walking around with a flashlight, and the monkey was going to.
The exhibits are going to come to life in the middle of the night.
They're going to come to life, right? Exactly. Oh, I didn't know he was a professional with the. I'm happy for him, but still, I thought he was night at the museum.
So, the director of the museum, his name is Bob Perry, and when he heard that we wanted to come and do this event at the museum, he was like, Oh, yeah, that sounds interesting. Let me ask my board of directors. And by the way, my grandfather was a world famous ham radio operator, and here is his bio, and sent us a link to his bio. So his grandfather's name was Stuart Perry, or Stu Perry, and he lived all his life in Winthrop, Massachusetts. And if any of you guys are familiar with 160 meters, and the Stu Perry contest comes from this gentleman whose original call sign was 1BB. So he had this call sign before they even had letter prefixes. He got his call sign only 5 call signs after Hiram Percy Maxim, who was 1AW. So think about that, how long this guy was licensed. And so he did a ton of work, mostly on 160 meters, and a lot of it in CW. And he actually got DXCC #1. So actually, I can change my screen share here. And so his grandson, Bob, who is an amazing person, has all of this memorabilia and ephemera from his grandfather. So he had this whole book full of all of his grandfather's different certificates, one of them being this is DXCC for 160 meters, #1, that was
That's
issued
awesome.
on November 1st, 1976 for his grandfather, Stuart Perry, W1BB. So how freaking cool
Number
is
one.
that? Another thing that he showed us that I loved was this is his grandfather's car, W1BB, portable, mobile. And this is like, a 1940s or 1950s car
Holy
with this
smoke.
big whip antenna on the back of it. It's got a swamp cooler. He's got the sign here. And actually, if you zoom in super close, you can see, look, he has even on his window W1BB on the driver's side there. I think that is so cool. This guy was obviously like very proud to be a ham, and like people talk about, going portable today, right? Like they make fun of my Poda wagon. Like, how can you bring this 100 amp hour battery portable? How can you bring a 710 portable? That's not a portable radio. People were bringing tube radios out portable in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. I mean, this just shows you can bring anything portable. And it's just so amazing. And Eric sent us $4.99. My penance for going shopping with the wifey for Father's Day.
I will not be bought off. I want him. I don't want his money.
Can we talk about how I had to feed
I want
my
that
child?
bald bearded boy on the stream.
I had to rush home. So yeah, and so the band conditions were pretty rough, unfortunately. I feel like we didn't make that many contacts. I did try calling CQ on like 20 meters, 40 meters. We made a few, but it wasn't as crazy as I expected it to be. But you're in the middle of a city, so you're in an urban environment, so you have a higher noise floor. You don't have as much space to put up an antenna. So there was a lot of challenges there, but really, like, I'm almost never at these special events to make contacts, even though making contacts kind of makes it a little bit more impressive for the people who might be there watching. But I'm there because I want to meet people. I want to talk to people. I loved talking to the people that were there, and listening to Mr. Perry talk about his grandfather and his different achievements. And then actually, so let me bring up another different picture here first before I show this other little video.
Shannon, I apologize for being late because of the time zone issue. I was just looking at the clock like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. They're there. I call and Eric's like, no, dude, we're going to be wrapping up. I said, give me an hour and 20 minutes. I'll get down to the discount antenna and get on. And yeah, I called him when I got down there. He's like, "Oh no, we're gone." I was like, "Damn it!"
Oh yeah, the time zone
Well, Shannon,
changes.
I've been following because I didn't go out and play. Well, I got busy on Thursday, Friday. I'm sorry, Wednesday and Thursday were just kind of nuts. But the sunspots are so low right now.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
weird.
the
It's
stations that, you know, the stations that I could hear were
Mhm.
very weak. There was a lot of QSB. So, like, I would hear a little bit and then I would hear nothing. And then I would hear a little bit. So, it was very hard to copy call signs. So, yeah, it was just really rough conditions. But so I took a picture of like an overhead view of kind of what we had set up. I think you can't see the one table that we had off to the side that had like all of Mr. or a lot of Mr. Perry's like paperwork on there and pictures and everything. But you can see here we had a station set up to Eric's Flex, and we were sending SSTV, sending and receiving SSTV. This is my great friend Adam, Alpha 1 November. So thank you so much to Adam, and also thank you so much to Michelle
Oh,
for
you had
coming.
Adam there. Adam's cool.
Yeah, so thank you so much to them for coming and helping. Michelle is an amazing CW operator. She's also an instructor for Long Island CW Club. But so she brought some keys and some bugs and some oscillators. Adam brought some stuff that he had made, like a 40-meter receiver. And so Michelle is actually here, and this is my radio here because you can tell because I have my sticker on it. So she is making contacts using Stu Perry's bug right there hooked up to my
nice.
radio. So that is pretty
Nice.
cool on
That's cool.
CW. And then, so this is Mr. Perry's grandson here, Bob. And this gentleman here is the trustee of the call sign W1BB. And so if you make my screen share small, so the trustee, his name is Jeff Briggs, and he actually wrote this book, DXing on the Edge, that Eric loaned to me because he's like, here's some light reading for you while you're on the plane.
Exactly.
But so Mr. Briggs was really cool, really nice. He was so excited to talk to Stu's grandson and get some firsthand knowledge and information. And I think he did know Mr. Perry as well, so he got some firsthand information from him, but also learning more about the family through his family as well. So that was really cool to have him there. And it was really an honor to have the trustee of the call sign and someone who was so knowledgeable about him come and see what we are all about. So that was really, really nice. And so one of the things that Mr. Perry had that belonged to his grandfather was his grandfather built, when he was 8 years old in 1912, he built a spark gap transmitter. And supposedly, one of the things that got him into radio was that he, I don't know why that screen share is not working. One of the things that got him into radio was listening on the radio to some radio operators in the Boston Navy Yard talking about the sinking of the Titanic. So that was supposedly one of the things that got him into radio in 1912, and then he built this spark gap transmitter when he was 8 years old. So imagine a child only slightly older than Miles is now building a spark gap transmitter. So this is going to be Michelle, and she is going to transmit on the spark gap transmitter. And I can't tell you how loud this was. And I've turned this video down. So hopefully it's not too loud.
Is this it? Turn it up a little bit.
So that was from 1912. So 114-year-old
Okay.
technology, somewhere around there. So
That's
super,
cool.
super cool. I think we lost Izzo for some reason.
He's going to get his Hawaiian shirt, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
He's feeling left out.
I could put on a Hawaiian skirt, but nobody would see it because I'm sitting down.
I'm wearing a Hawaiian skirt, so I got you covered.
But yeah, so and Pepe just said the spark gap transmitter was very loud in the live stream, and it was very
Oh, they're
loud
so
in real
loud.
life. It was like it was a very echoey room anyway where we were, and that wasn't helping with being able to hear. And I should have brought my headset, but I need a separate headset that is just for radio, because usually I'm wearing my headset right now. I have one headset. I use it for the computer. I use it for radio. And I know, like, we don't usually like to use headsets when we're trying to do these public demonstrations because we want the public to be able to hear it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it doesn't do any good if I can't hear it to try to communicate with the person. So I don't know if having a headset would have helped or not. It might have. It probably wouldn't have hurt. But yeah, that spark gap transmitter, I mean, you could hear that everywhere. But
that thing wiped out everything in that building. Are you kidding me?
well,
Jesus.
some of us, I was a little worried because I left my Baofeng on, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope it didn't like overload the front end or anything. But the radio seemed to be okay. So, Andy's asking, where in the UK am I going to? So I'm going to be going to a bunch of different places. The first thing that we're doing is we're going to be in the South. We're going to Tank Fest in Bovington next weekend. So that'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's going to be super exciting, seeing all the World War I, World War II tanks, seeing the Tiger tank. I'm going to bring a handy talkie, so
Oh, so
hopefully
you're going to Tank Fest.
Yeah, I am going to Tank Fest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I bought tickets for that ages ago, 3-day passes. And because I heard it sold out on Saturday. I don't know if it's sold out on any other days as well, but I'm bringing a handy talkie. Hopefully they let us bring it in. Obviously I'll have it programmed for the proper UK 2-meter calling frequency. And who knows if maybe I'll pick up some chatter or end up meeting some other hams there. I think that would be super cool. I'm also going to be, looking for any kind of communications, tank radios, things of that nature, because maybe you guys saw on the live stream
Tank
that
radios!
so I have a tank radio receiver that
Okay.
I got from someone in Cara Club. It's a World War II BC 683B World War II tank radio receiver. And I ended up bringing it into the museum and putting it on the table so people could see it. So it was really cool. And, I don't know if it works. It doesn't have the right dynamotor, but people tell me if I was going to use it, then I wouldn't use it with the dynamotor anyway. And it receives FM, and it's it's crystal controlled, so it's for somewhere between like 27 megahertz to like 30 megahertz, so it's not even really
That's
in
typical,
band
yeah.
for
Okay.
for anything except for like it could pick up 10 meter FM, because I think the 10 meter FM calling frequency is like 29.500 or somewhere in there. So that could be cool if I could get it to work and try to pick up 10 meter FM. And I think people have people have modified them where there are or used to be like some firefighter frequencies would be like in
Called low
around.
band.
Yeah. So, who knows? But I never wanted it to use it. I just always wanted it to like look at it, because I just think it looks so cool, and it's green and it's military
Yeah.
and it's from a tank. And, everybody, like, as soon as I brought it out, people were like, wow, that is so cool. And they're like moving the little the little fins back and forth that like hides a speaker, and everybody wants to push the little program buttons in because it has like 10 programmed frequencies, which they are a little sticky. It probably needs some, electronics cleaner in there or something like that. I haven't opened it, and I'm a little scared to open it because, there could be probably high voltages present, right? Like if it has capacitors, who knows if
When was the last time that thing was powered up?
I have no
Exactly.
idea.
Didn't you just take a
think you're
test?
absolutely
Wait a minute.
fine.
You just took a test. You should at least know that.
Well,
Yeah,
I can't tell you when the last time it was powered on, but my understanding is that capacitors can potentially stay charged.
Take a
for
screwdriver,
ages.
flat tip, go in there in between each big capacitor. Be prepared for a spark. Pop, 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 and just discharge them all.
Yeah.
And then take a wire and go from one terminal to the other, and the capacitor will no longer charge because they can air charge, believe it or not. So all you do is you just run a wire across a high voltage capacitor to make sure that it doesn't charge.
Yeah. So,
There's
if
your
I
tip
was
for the day.
if I was going to open it
Tips from
up,
Tortoise.
clean it out, modify it or whatever, not that I have the, I may have passed the test. I don't have the skills or practical knowledge to modify a radio. Let's be real. But, I think it's like I said, it's cool to look at. It'd be cool to open it up and clean it out and at least get the push buttons working a little bit more smoothly. Because everybody, they like to push buttons. They like to flip the switches. The switches are very like clicky. So it's very satisfying. That's why I have my my mechanical keyboard, right? I like that tactile response from things.
Shannon, get yourself some electronic cleaner.
Yep.
Spray with a little nozzle onto it and spray each switch, run it in and out a couple times. Every switch will clean up.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then keep the knobs clean with alcohol.
Yep.
And it'll be fine.
Yep. Exactly. So,
Cool.
yeah. And then after that, going to be like traveling up to the East Midlands for a while. We'll be going to like Yorkshire for a while, have some things planned up there, seeing like the Royal Armory, seeing the National Tramway Museum, the National Railway Museum, hopefully going to visit like the World of James Herrick. I'm a big All Creatures Great and Small fan. And then got to see Bletchley Park, obviously, got to see where they broke the Enigma code, got to visit the RSGB station and operate the station there, hopefully. And then the last week we're actually staying right just outside of London in the suburb called Uxbridge, where there is like the Battle of Britain bunker. So it's like one of the only RAF bunkers that's like still intact with like the squadron board and all the maps and everything, and it's open to the public. So
Cool.
that's like, very close to where we're staying. So I really want to go there and check that out. And Miles is like all about planes right now. He's gone from ships to planes. So I don't know how that shift occurred, but he really wants to see the Concorde. That's like his favorite jet besides the DC-10. So we found out there.
Wait. The Concorde is his favorite jet, yet you were at the Air Force Museum and saw the most beautiful bomber supersonic in the world, the XB-70 Valkyrie, and the Concorde is his favorite plane? This thing makes a Concorde look like a freaking little pissant toy.
I know, but
Holy smokes.
But he likes commercial passenger jets. I don't know why. He's more about the commercial passenger jets than the fighter jets and stealth bombers and stuff like that. I don't know. He's a weird kid. What do you want? So, so there's this place. It's called Aerospace Bristol. They actually have a Concorde there that you can go on board. You can, sit in the seats and touch the stuff. So we're going to try to make our way over there and hopefully see that for him, because I know that's one thing that he really wants to see. And yeah, KS0JD. I really do want to do bunkers on the air. I found out, where there's some bunkers somewhat close to us. And you actually only have to be within like 1,000 meters of the bunker to even to activate it. So it's not like,
Okay, they give you a lot of room then.
yeah, you don't have to
Yeah.
be in the bunker or on top of the bunker. You can just be in like the general vicinity of the bunker. Because obviously, like some of these bunkers, they're on private property. So, they want to kind of make it accessible for people to be able to activate them. So that's going to be, that's going to be hopefully a goal of doing at least one, and lots of POTA as well. And yeah, Bricker Miles just might be a future crew chief. You never know where these interests are going to lead kids. So that's why, like, okay, he's into planes right now. So let's bring him to like every plane thing that I can think of and, expose him to it, because who knows if, he says he wants to be an astronaut and he wants to bring the first cat into space, even though there have already been other cats in space. But we won't shatter his dreams with that. But, maybe he wants to, live on the moon base, the future moon base, with a pet cat and have the first pet cat in space. But, so he says he wants to be an astronaut. I know a lot of astronaut pilots come from the Air Force. So, he could end up in the Air Force as an astronaut pilot. Maybe he could, be a mission specialist, a scientist. Who knows? You can never know if you don't expose them to and give them the opportunities to see and do all of the things as much as I possibly can.
Imagine 30 years from now, he's on the moon and he's running the first Packy on the moon.
the first adult beverage store on the moon.
Yeah. In honor of my mother, this is called the adult beverage store.
Yeah, the adult beverage store.
No, but Shan, you're absolutely right. I think as a parent, and I think it's fun even to as parents that we kind of get into their world a little bit too. I think it's always fun. I think it's always fun to figure out where they want. When you watch them build things from Legos to whatever or draw, I remember watching my son drawing. Then all of a sudden he got into this whole video stuff, and it's just amazing watching these kids. And who knows what they're going to do? You're absolutely right. Who knows what they're going to, and even that may take a left turn, right turn, and who knows? But we still support them. We still love them, and we still support them either way.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what I could have done if I had been a ham radio operator at 14.
Yeah. I think about it because I was always around it, and my grandfather, I think, was a little disappointed because I was the only kid in the family who would hang out in the shack.
Okay.
But I was the rebel. I'm not going to learn that Morse code. The Morse code doesn't interest me. And I think that kind of but eventually he just kind of, I think he stopped, and then he let me be me. And then I got more involved. I wanted to know more, but from the emergency side of it, and how do we apply the radio communications? So again, we all go down our various rabbit holes in this hobby.
Were you always interested in the emergency side of radio?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You kidding me? When there were some major earthquakes back in the 70s.
Okay.
So picture a man who worked a second job just to get the Collins radio equipment. He always built his tuners. He always built his, and I'm sorry, they called them matchboxes. They were not tuners, they were matchboxes. And he built a lot of his own feed line, open wire feed line for a lot of things. But my thing was, the amazement was hanging out in the shack, and he had this auto patch box, and he had a red phone. Remember the old dial? Remember the old phones that had the dial on them? And it was a wall mounted, and it was red. You were not allowed to pick up that phone. I think it was because he didn't want to pay the 10 cents per the phone call, because he was very frugal. or if you want to say cheap, I'll say cheap. But anyway, he would run the phone patches. So, and he would run third party traffic, sort of like what the Red Cross does with the military, sort of what we know as what NTS is a little bit today. But they were doing that. Um, it would just amaze me. Then the maps. Then of course the dirty magazines he had from different countries always blew me. It was always my, you know. So there was a lot of things going on in the shack that had me reeled in.
Did you say sack or shack?
Shack, the
Oh,
shack.
okay.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was the paneling of the '70s. You know, he had a little couch down there. You know, he probably picked it up from a. He picked it.
black stripes.
Yes, yeah, yep. And he had, you know, just. I'm sure the couch, this little love seat, came from a tag sale. He probably paid $5, and the guy wanted 10, and he probably walked away from it. You know what I mean? But
And that paneling had one hell of a smell to it too. I'm
yes,
just like going
yes.
back.
But his desk, he had one of these old office metal desks that was very deep, because you remember you had your radio equipment on it,
Yep.
but yet you still had enough room to write. And any time of paper, so he never bought a notepad. He would cut his own like 5x9 pieces of paper from scrap or whatever.
Oh wow.
And that, but like he would throw CW on, Mike, and then all of a sudden, CW is on in the background. He's talking to me, but he's also copying in the head what he's hearing and telling me about. He says, "Did you hear about this guy? Did you hear what? You know? Did you hear?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, why aren't you paying attention?" Because I said, "Because I'm listening to you." He says, "No, you got to learn your brain. Take your right side and listen to me. Take your left side and listen to the code." He said, "You play music." Back then, I was playing guitar. I think, yeah, guitar. He said, "It's music. That's all it is. Just learn it."
Yeah.
And I was, you know, I'm like, "Well, I don't want to learn that. Where's the dirty magazines?" I mean,
Like I said,
but still,
hence this statement.
this was just after the DXXX.
oh, my grandmother used to get mad when she found out, because there was a window, and then he would shut the curtain, and then, you know,
Shacking off.
Wow.
in the wintertime, there was, again, he was frugal. He ran a stove down in the basement, but the door would shut to the shack because he wanted peace and quiet. So how did he keep warm? Threw on the amplifier, and that's how we kept warm in there. And it was amazing that it would get nice and warm. But then later in his life, the man went QRP. It was just like really weird. His last 30 years of his life, he lived to be 94, and then like in his mid 60s or something, he went to QRP. But you were showing the spark gap. I remember him telling me they were running some spark gap in one of his earlier homes, and they were doing it, and the humidity in the air one summer, he says he could feel the electricity all over his skin. He felt it was very dangerous. And the bleed over, it was very weird. So, I mean, we laugh at some of these radios, like the Baofungs and other radios that may not have, they're very questionable on, is this the right word, spectral purity, you know, and the harmonics. I think back then these guys were bleeding all over the bands until, you know, things started getting, you know, regulated. And this is like around 1930, 1933, 1935, and everything. I mean, of course, I wasn't around then, but, you know, it's just, you know, amazing how things progress. But I get what Miles is going through. I get it, because I see, even to this day at 62, you know, just when you start getting engulfed into something, and then all of a sudden something triggers you, you know, whether it's a YouTube video or being here on these live shows. I'm like, you know, something, I think like this whole Meshtastic thing.
Yes.
I think I want to get into it.
Get into it, please, Izzo. We need you, but not Meshtastic, Meshcore, because everybody.
Meshcore.
Yeah.
Because I found a site that shows the map of the whole Northeast area of how things are going. You know, with the lines.
Yeah.
From my area up to you, up down into New Hampshire, and how it goes into New York State and this and that. But
yeah. So,
anyway.
unfortunately, I have my mesh core node outside, but I'm still a mesh of one. Like there is this dead zone all around Lynn, Salem that they're kind of like, we're trying to fill it in with more nodes. But Josh just did a great video a few days ago where he took these like $15 Harbor Freight solar lights
I
and
saw
put
that.
these little, Seed Studio, thingies, development boards in there, the Zhao boards or whatever
Okay.
they are. And he made the soldering look so easy that I'm like, wait a minute, I think I could do that. And, I have done simple soldering like that before. I built a K6 ARK mic kit. Those wires were freaking
Nice.
tiny. They were a pain in the
Yes.
butt to try to strip those wires. But so it's like taking the multimeter, finding the right voltage to put the solder on. And to be honest, Josh made a mistake and he soldered it backwards the first time, and somehow he didn't fry the board. But the fact that he left that mistake in, it's like, here's somebody who's way smarter than I am, and he still makes mistakes. We all
Very
make
genuine.
mistakes.
That's genuine.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's genuine.
Yeah. So, and you were talking about your grandfather's shack. So I put a picture of the screen share up. So this is W1BB shack. So this was one of the pictures that
wow.
Bob
Where's
Perry
the curtain?
had.
Does he have a curtain?
There's a curtain there.
There's no DXXX in this shack.
That looks like all E.F. Johnson gear.
At least, not as far as I know. But, I think it's so cool. Like, you can see it's clearly in his attic because you got the roof coming down here. Like, look at this old picture. This is probably like him and his like brother or sister or something like that. Old
the one on the
picture
right looks like Jack Black.
Yes.
I wish we could see what the year was on the calendar. It's October something. We can't really see what the year is on the calendar. But
that's all E.F. Johnson Viking equipment. So it's not that old, that picture. That's Johnson Viking.
Yeah,
equipment.
I mean the picture might not be that old. Like this could be what, maybe 50s or 60s?
Yeah, 60s. It looks more like 60s. That gear is 60s.
But yeah, so he lived in the same house as far as I know all his life in Winthrop. And if you get that book that Jeff wrote, it shows this picture of like this water tower in Winthrop on Shirley Point, and he convinced the town to allow him to use the water tower to support his 160 meter antenna. And I guess he measured with a compass, and he had like salt water for something like 90 degrees or more all around him. So it was just really super, super cool.
So what you add in here, Izzo?
All right, so that's 1947. That was my grandfather. I think that was their first house they bought, and that's upstairs. That eventually became a bedroom as they started having kids.
And I love the QSL cards up on the wall there.
I actually have a bigger picture of this in my shack because it's one of those that you just look. It's sort of like playing Waldo with it. Because every time you look at it, you find something else.
Yeah,
that's him being very intense. But like I said, back then, like I said, they were just very. Again, if you look at the history of how the FCC was created and where ham radio fits in the timeline. I ask every ham radio, explore that when you get it. When you got nothing else better to do, go back to see what was going on, because ham radio operators were really not wanted. Because TV and radio broadcasts were very threatened by the ham radio community, and they wanted to make sure that we were not taking over their airways because it was money for them. It's all money. They're going to generate money through ad revenue and others. it just got all crazy with them. Let me just show the other.
So,
And then there's the
and it's like, for those of you guys who know me or people that don't know me, I love history, right? I love any kind of history. So, anytime I can connect history to radio
Ooh,
is
good one.
where
Yeah.
it's just, two worlds colliding, and it's like a perfect storm of I want to learn more. And that right there, that's a pretty cool picture too. That's your grandfather, Izzo?
Yeah, now that's when he had his he had a vanity he had two vanity call signs. I think I can't see what's on the light. I'm not sure if that's W1FD. Yes, I'm sorry, that's
Yeah, it's
W1FD.
FD.
That's when that was his last call sign. So I have his original from 1933. Then he went to a vanity of W1YY, called him Yak Yak because he always talked. But then he was able to obtain his first in letter initials, Frank Darmafalski, W1FD, which of course everybody wants an FD when you're playing with ARRL Field Day in June. But that's a corner. That's a corner of the shack. There's the red phone on the wall. You see the black box of all the feed lines coming into the shack, and this was all very well designed and grounded and bonded, and the tower out in the back, and the antennas in the back, and
Everything's grounded to the metal desk. That thing is
yeah,
solid.
probably.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the bus bar that he had, it was just an amazing. And I remember he cried because they had to go they went to an assisted living facility about 10 miles from here, and of course he had to sell everything down and this and that. But the facility allowed him. He had a 10 tech radio when he's like 50-watt 10 tech radios. He always made his own homemade G5 RV design antennas, and they actually helped him put it up. And so when he died, back in like 2000 and I think 2007, when he passed away, he was still doing about 44 words a minute sending, because we were at one of his ham radio clubs. I think they're 50th. He was like a founding member. Him and 5 other guys started their club right after World War II, and they were doing some stuff. And he's just talking to everybody, and he's pounding it out. And one of the guys says to me, "Do you know what your grandfather's doing?" I said, "Yeah, he's talking to some guy." He says, "Dude, he's running about 45, 46 words a minute." He says, "I lost him at about 30 something." And he's just going, and he's talking to people too. That's the group of that vintage era guys. And maybe there's a few out there today, because for World War II, he was too old to go into World War II, but the government hired him to teach guys to learn Morse code. They had to learn it in 30 days. They had to be at least 28 words a minute, sending and receiving, to proceed in the communication division, whatever they were doing. So he was sent to various bases around the Northeast to teach, and he did it. He did it. It was sort of like the Navy SEALs of it was that kind of training. Well, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Navy SEALs, but it was a very hardcore. You got to get this done, and they lived and breathed and talked Morse code. That's how he got it into their heads. Don't start teaching yourself at 22 years old of saying, "Was that an A? How do you say an A? Draw an A." You're just going to do it, and it's going to become second. Sort of like what we were talking about before with the questions and learning the questions. Yes, you can memorize them. Some people find it easier to understand them, and then you get guys like Tortoise who are using this stuff every day. It just
Yeah,
comes easy.
that's,
It's second nature. I
Yeah.
envy guys like that.
I dig his style. Like, I thought I was like one of the only hams that operated in a tie and a sweater and
Oh my God! Let me tell you something. You got to remember I think that's around 1975, maybe 1982ish, and Christmas. When he cut the turkey up.
Oh yeah.
He had to
was
have
so
his
different.
tie. Oh yeah, it was so exactly. It was so. Nobody came. No, you were not allowed to with like sweatpants on. There's
Yeah.
no freaking way would you do that. And I remember when like Ronald Reagan got elected, he was so proud, and and him and my grandmother were sort of dressing like him and like Ronald and Nancy. They were just living that whole world of but still being good humanitarians and giving back to the local community. Back in 1955, we had some major flooding here in the state of Connecticut. I'll tell you guys a quick story. You'll like this. So my grandfather was big with races. Okay, and back in the 50s,
Okay.
Cold War, races was huge here in Connecticut. The first Monday of the month was Aries radio training. You had to have your card, the little blue card, I believe it was, that you get was certified by your local civil preparedness director. There was no Aries back then. There was no emergency coordinators, none of that kind of stuff, right? So he got involved with emergency communications, and they were all playing around on 10 meter AM. Mike, you'll like this one. 10 meter AM.
I love it.
Okay.
So quirky.
So one of the major rivers that runs through the state of Connecticut was flooded out like crazy.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
Destroyed towns, everything. They got called up, and this big Army 6x6 pulls up in front of the house, and he has his big Army duffel bag. He's all proud. He's got the boots on. He's got everything packed in the bag and this and that. I think I carry a lot of shit when I go play a poker or whatever. This man made me look like a baby. He had it all. He had two big duffel bags, this and that. He kisses my grandmother, runs out to the truck. All of a sudden, my grandmother comes running out the house. Frank, you forgot your toilet paper. You forgot your toilet paper. And she embarrassed. He's like, Mother, because he always called her Mother. Mother, do not embarrass me. And all the guys in the truck. But guess what, though? He had his toilet paper because he told me 3 days in, they ran out of toilet paper, and he was one of the few guys who had toilet paper. It was so bad where they were working. Vehicles were stuck in the mud, and literally like 4 feet in the mud. They weren't going anywhere. They were taking, well, some guys will say they were stealing. They were taking the car batteries out of these disabled vehicles and putting them on the air to run radio stations on 10 meter AM from a firehouse to a police station to the hospital, etc. And that's what they did for 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
You do what you got to do.
Why did they run
And
with 10
it's not
meter
stealing.
AM? I'm curious why they ran with 10 meters.
Because in 55, while 2 meters was, I don't think 2 meters was even developed back then.
Okay.
They all had HF radios.
Okay.
And they were running 10 meter because they only had to do like a 30 mile, 40 mile,
Yeah, that's fine.
district area. They didn't have beams with them. Nobody was carrying coax with them. So they were basically just making whips out of antennas that they had or took off their car.
Yeah, it's just
and
8
whatever.
feet. It's you don't need
Exactly.
much for that.
102 inches. That's all you really need. There you go.
And here's the thing: you said this was shortly after World War II.
This was, I believe, the floods of 55. I believe it was 1955 here in Connecticut. It was very bad. It was called the Housatonic River. Maybe about 20 miles south of the Massachusetts border, western part of the state. The Housatonic River went nuts.
So I'll have to find on YouTube this guy who's he's actually from New Hampshire. He goes to Nearfest, but I've never met him. His YouTube channel is called like Microwaves, and I think his name is Mike. So it's spelled like MIK. And he did a talk like last year about how World War II radio surplus changed ham radio. So, they were probably using a lot of surplus military radios that were probably already on 10 meter AM, and they were just using what they had available.
Nice.
I'll have to find the link for that talk, but that guy, I can't remember his call sign, but I just recently found the video on YouTube again because I was looking at that, that radio that I got, the World War II radio. So I wanted to rewatch that video and that talk that he gave. But he has actually gone out and done POTA with like 1930s gear. And I want to get in touch with him because I want to see if he would be interested in coming to Hammond Castle and doing a demonstration of 1930s radio gear at Hammond Castle. Because John Hayes Hammond Jr., who built Hammond Castle, is considered the father of radio control and
Correct.
developed radio control technology for torpedoes that ended up being used in World War II. So I think
Let
that
me
would
tell you
be
something
really
real quickly before I forget. And Mike may know this. Mike being a tortoise, being a big Motorola guy. Motorola was racing during World War II to develop communications.
Oh,
to
yeah.
help, because what they learned in World War One, what was needed. And a bunch of Canadians were also doing their own thing. So, and the government was trying to decide what they wanted to use for equipment and how they were going to, and these guys were racing to get the contract. Motorola was going crazy with batteries, equipment, how the GI was going to carry this versus setting it up in a tent as like a mobile control station, base station. It was just amazing. The other thing,
Motorola had a lot of influence in the communications for World War II, especially for the big portable
Yes.
radios.
They made the first one.
Yeah,
right.
And they just did a phenomenal job. And I mean, they were swapping out D batteries and a lot
Yes.
of them. And
Yes.
I mean, they wouldn't last very long, so they would constantly be turning them on and off, unless they were set up as a base station someplace. Then
Right.
those developed into the PR-77, which was the Manpack, and they had magnesium batteries of all things. So in Vietnam, they were told not to get the radios wet.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're in a freaking swamp, dude. 90% of it. So yeah, it was like, so they would take the Manpacks off and carry them above their heads as they walked through a water area, and then the damn radio would get shot. So
Right. And the Canadians too. The Canadians were very instrumental too.
Oh,
as
yeah.
another group trying to again, it's part of how do we win the wars. Everything was a part. Every group was how are we going to contribute so we can win the war and everything. I think it's just amazing. If you guys have nothing, again, you guys have nothing else better to do. Google this stuff. Go to YouTube. You'll see a lot of great information about two-way radio back in the 30s and the 40s. Shannon, Hammond Castle. We brought the kids up to Gloucester.
Gloucester.
I highly-
I'm sorry, what?
Gloucester.
How does a Connecticut guy supposed to enunciate this word?
Gloucester.
What is it?
It's just
And I'm not even
Gloucester.
from New England.
Gloucester? Did I say it
Gloucester.
right there? Gloucester. Okay.
Gloucester.
We took the kids up there because I wanted to go to Rockport, but prior to going to Rockport, we stopped in that city, that town. We didn't even know this Hammond Castle even existed. When we got to the hotel, we opened some brochures and what to do and this and that. We said, let's just go for a ride. We found Hammond Castle. I highly recommend anybody who's in the Northeast wants to go to Hammond Castle. This place is beautiful. The Mr. Hammond developed, I think, the first pipe organ, maybe.
No,
But what was it? What's that organ?
no.
what does
So
he
there
have?
is a Hammond organ in Hammond Castle, but
Yep.
the guy who made Hammond organs is not related to the
Oh, I have
John
it wrong
Hayes
then.
Hammond Jr. Yeah. So actually, it is something that was mixed up even when they were alive. And there's a funny letter that Hammond of the torpedoes wrote to Hammond of the organs about, like, I hope the fame of my torpedoes has helped you as much as the fame of your
Oh,
organs
shit.
has helped me.
No kidding.
So they were aware
God.
of each other, so it was sort of very funny.
But going through the castle, there are rooms, and there's stuff that you could see, and then there's stuff that you cannot see to this day. I believe it's still classified. This man was incredible with radar and so much other things for the military of what he did. I don't think we'll ever really know. Maybe his family does. But there's just so much that we don't, to this day, that it's the foundation of, radar and RF and a whole bunch of other stuff. So very cool history here, right here in the Northeast.
Yeah, and so and very important inventor as well, that he was very well known in his time, but he sort of has been forgotten. And he did a lot of work with like radio control technology, also with like radio and television as well. And I think he actually sat on the board of director for for RCA at a time.
Oh wow.
Probably.
And I dug these out because like 30 minutes ago, seeing the QSL cards on your grandfather's wall there, Izzo, reminded me of this. And somebody in chat wanted to know, did your grandfather enjoy barbecue crisps?
No. But let me tell you a quick story. So down here in Connecticut, we have a park. It's one of my favorite POTA parks. It's one of the biggest parks in Connecticut, called Hammonasset State Park. Back in the 60s, again, he worked a part-time job to buy a shack. And when I say it maybe had 1 or 2 bedrooms, cold water running only. There was no bathroom. There was an outhouse in the back that you had to use, and there was no electricity. But he would bring his ham radio equipment down, and again, I used to love it, being, hanging out down there. But this man would not put electricity in. He would not, everything was battery powered from the big. We had a big Motorola TV, a black and white Motorola TV, and that's how we got to watch the local stations back then. Back in the war, he was commissioned to walk the beaches to see if any, enemies, submarines or anything. And they had these little guard shacks, probably about the size of an outhouse, that had a telephone, a twisted pair running. And you were only allowed to pick up the phone to check in every couple hours, or if there was an emergency where you sighted something. They gave him some, I don't know if it was a 22, I'm not sure what they gave him. But again, that was part of his contribution to walking the beaches to make sure. And we know the history. There were so many German vessels up and down the Atlantic, corridor here, that who knows if they were just watching him and laughing at him. Who the heck knows? But he would, at the end of his shift, he'd go home and go work some CW. And as kids in the summertime, we would sleep over. And the worst thing I said was, in the morning, cold showers were horrible, and using the outhouse was just like, oh my god, But I guess it toughens you up.
But, so, you mentioned like spotting along the beaches. So there's so many spots here in the Northeast too that served as spotting to watch out for enemy ships during World War II, especially with like, Boston being a major port city, Portsmouth in New Hampshire being a major port city. You have GE Aerospace Aviation that was making, jet engines for the war, being a huge target. So, in Nahant, they had, East Point Park, where there are actual, pillboxes and bunkers, and they had anti-ship guns mounted there. And I recently found out, speaking of Rockport, at Halibut Point State Park, if you've ever been there, they had huge radar arrays and spotting towers looking out for ships, and helping to aim the guns from Nahant and Portsmouth,
Pigeon Cove, yeah,
to
Pigeon
protect
Cove,
the harbors there.
Pigeon Cove, being so high, had a beautiful observation area of that whole area. It's just
so, if anyone is in the area of the Northeast, and if you're interested in military history or radio history, definitely, like, these are some sites to check out. And, these are places that if it wasn't for radio, now Hammond Castle I have known about since I was a kid, and I've loved Hammond Castle, and I thought that was just the coolest place ever. And, now getting to go there and getting to know the director, John Laseth, and getting him like more into radio and going there and doing a radio event like we did last year was just amazing, and I hope to be able to do some more of that with them. But sites like Halibut Point or the USS Albacore or Fort McCleary, these are places that I probably wouldn't have visited if I wasn't going out trying to do POTA. And in doing that, like, I've learned so much more about these sites, around the area. But so I just wanted to show. So I had bought on eBay a while ago, actually, some vintage QSL cards, and I picked these ones because they were from stations like around here. So this one is from Beverly, Mass. It's from 1932, and I love, the simple graphics and the art on these old cards, and I love the people's handwriting on them too. So this one is somebody from Lynn, Mass. That sent one out, W1FAL.
Hey Shannon,
And
let me tell you something else too. You know what was the beauty of not only of those QSL cards and talking about rabbit hole? I started collecting stamps because
mm-hmm,
these QSL cards would come in to my grandfather, and he would save me the envelopes, whether they were DX or from around the country, and the stamps were incredible, were just absolutely incredible. So that was sort of like, if you were into stamps, you also like your QSL cards. It was like a side hobby. A lot of
yeah.
guys were also collecting stamps too.
Yeah, and these have the stamps on the back there, because these were just sent as postcards. And actually, so, I collect paper QSLs, from my own contacts. I actually brought them with me to the museum to show them off. And, you guys know me. I love the old ways, right? I love the paper logs. I love the paper QSL cards. And I keep the envelopes from the QSL cards that I get, and I slip them into the sleeve behind the cards so I can keep everything all together. I can see the stamp, I can see the handwriting, I can see the postmark
Okay.
on there. I think that's so cool, because those are like sort of the bits that get forgotten a little bit, right?
I agree.
So you know W1AWO.
Wow.
And this has like a weird little like paper clipped thing to it. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. But
Posted a note with it.
um but yeah, so these were really cool. And they were like $13. They weren't too expensive, but and there was a few different like lots of them on there. But I just think they're so cool. This one says something about like, very sorry about being late, but better late than never. People were sending their QSLs late even back in, October 8th,
Yeah.
1932. So, it adds that human, relatable element, that there were people out there doing the same thing that we're doing out there on the air, just, looking for someone to talk to connect to, and, just build a friendship with.
Well, thank you for the Northeast Ham Radio KC1 OHT show tonight.
Listen, it has also been the Izzo show.
I
Well,
love
hey,
talking
I
about
got a-
this stuff.
I
No,
got a
just shut
question.
me up. I love talking about this.
I got a question for Rabbit. What are you doing for field day, brother?
So typically for field day, I'll link up with the local club that I'm not a member of and do the overnight portion for them
Okay.
because I'm used to staying up throughout the night. So when most of the guys go home and stuff, after my kiddos go to bed, I'll go meet up with them and activate for them.
So what bands do you do for the overnight typically?
Whatever they want me, whoever's not getting worked,
Okay.
I'll let the club members do what they want to do, and I'll pick over the scraps.
Do they?
I'd rather,
set up for
80
160,
meters is
or
really
are they
going
just on 80?
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. 80 meters has got to be great. I remember it back in the 90s, and 80 meters is night.
Yeah.
is like all of a sudden, like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, especially in the
It
wintertime.
Oh yeah, but in the summer for field day, it has that little extra activity. But yet,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, the regular lids, or I shouldn't say lids because we're all lids at one time. They're all sleeping. They're all done for the day. They're all tuckered out. They're going to come back on Sunday morning at 7, 8 a.m. It's that 1 a.m., 3 a.m. I used to love watching the guys on 80 meters.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. You know what I mean?
They have a couple of guys that like they have their band of choice, and that's what they're going to sit on the
Okay.
entire time. So
Yes.
respectfully, I show up and hey, what's left? What do you need me to do?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Nice.
I don't.
Mike Smith said top band for the win. You got to get on 160 meters, right?
I don't think you can. That's a work band. That's
No, it's
not
not.
available for
No,
160. Is
No,
not
they can
okay.
use
I'm
it.
wrong.
Yeah, no,
No.
you can use it.
Oh, okay.
it's
Good.
an MF
160
band. It's
It
not
is the
HF,
top
son.
band.
So, did you see this from Bearded Jackhole? He said, "I saved the stamp from the UN Radio Club just because the UN was considered its own country. You don't see that stamp every day. That's pretty
That's
cool."
cool.
Correct. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Very, very cool. What about you, Tortoise? Are you going to do any field day stuff out there?
I don't
What do you
know.
thi- what do-
You know,
what- what's-
I'm not,
yeah, I
I'm
know
not
you're
hooked.
kind of in some new digs and stuff. So
Yeah, I actually don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, you know, Father's Day is tomorrow, and I am literally an empty nester. The only people that are in the house right now are the dogs and the bird. So yeah, it's I don't know what I'm gonna do. Today I went down to Green Valley, Arizona, to the Titan II Missile Base Museum and hooked up on the disc cone. And I, I had rather good noise level, but everybody's audio. I got to check my 7,000 out. Everybody's audio is kind of low, so I'm gonna have to check that out. Thank you, WV3V.
He's right.
37,
He's absolutely right.
12.
That
Those
is
work
work,
bands.
not 160.
So, how
Um,
far is that Titan II Missile Museum from you, Tortoise?
The Titan II Missile Base Museum is approximately an hour and 25 minutes from me. It's
Ooh,
south
so
of
it's
Tucson.
it's a little
It's
far.
if you go from my house to Tucson, you go down 10 to 19. 19 goes down towards Nogales, down towards the border. It's a rather interesting place. Green Valley is, but yeah, there's the Titan II Missile Base Museum is yeah, that was the shortest live stream. Thanks, Pepe, for joining me though this afternoon. Um, I literally could see the cell tower and I completely lost signal. No internet. Boom, done. And so yeah, I had to end it impromptu. But I was walking people around and showing them the missile base a little bit and the wildlife and the fauna and the flora. But yeah, it was fun. Museums on the air, so museum ships. I went from the Titan II Missile Base Museum to the USS Iowa Museum, and made a contact with them, and that was pretty cool. But it just everybody was really light, and I don't know if it was the antenna or it was my radio. So I'm gonna have to bring the radio in here, put it on the bench, and put it on the service monitor and figure out what that was all about because everybody's audio just sounded like trash. But yeah, dude, it's awesome out here, Mike. And I'll throw the invite out again. I have a 4-bedroom house. I have 2 spare bedrooms. If you want to come out to Arizona, hang out, do some POTA, whatever. I've got tons and tons of parks around here. Yes, it is a dry heat. I'm tired of listening to that crap. It is warm. But you know, when you have a good breeze and it's 110, it doesn't feel like 110. It feels like 80 degrees. Honest to God. I love it out here. And this is my new spot, and everybody was tired of listening to Happy Tortoise on the Weekend Warriors podcast. So last night I was a grumpy tortoise again, but that was just for show. Yeah, it's awesome out here, guys. I've got the radio set up. Let me see. I can move my Rabbit's seen this, but I'll move it around. So this is the shack and office. That's the end of my monitor. You see my microphone here. Over here is going to be is where the radios are sitting. We're going to have a giant, cool sitting area. That's the front door. Shannon, there's the military radio for you. That's the Chinesium up there. Chinese backpack radio. Literally military issue, brand new. Still smells like cosmoline. But yeah, we're just setting stuff up. Just setting stuff up. You know, it's a work in progress, trying to make a home out of a place that I've never lived in before, but in a state that I have lived in before. And me, the dog, and cousin Eddie and Clark are coming. Well, are you flying or driving, sir? Are you flying
driving
or
the
driving,
RV?
sir?
No, the RV. He's going to. Cousin Eddie always brings an RV.
I'm gonna bring Miles to dig a moat around your house. Okay.
What hour? Wait a minute.
Good luck finding water.
Wait, what hour are we in? The fuck you say? Yeah, it would probably be about 200 gallons of water just to dig anything around this house.
Mm-hmm.
So. But we had some really good storms. The first 2 days of monsoon season, we had 2 really good storms, and since then it's been dry. Go ahead, Shannon.
Oh no, I was gonna say about the museum, you know, as like cool as that disc cone antenna is, I have heard that like it's not the greatest.
It's not. Oh
yeah.
no, it's not. It's not good for the higher bands, like 20 and up, but 40 and down. Yeah, it's a really good antenna. The only problem is you're kicked out of there at 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah, because that's when.
Well,
they
I got to
close.
get with the Green Valley Amateur Radio Club and say, hey, look, what kind of event can we put on, like, to promote your club in the Missile Base Museum, and see if we can get in there at night. That would be pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. Or you know, what about like in winter? It might be better in winter.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad today. It really wasn't. It had a nice, good, stiff breeze. 108 degrees, felt like 80. It was nice. It was beautiful.
Honestly, that's how I felt when I went to like Wyoming and South Dakota and Montana. Even though it was very unseasonably hot when I went there, it didn't feel that hot because, you know,
Right.
I know how much you hate this because it's a dry heat.
Go warm up your oven and stick your head in
I
it.
knew you were gonna roll your eyes at that. That's exactly why I said it.
But it's absolutely beautiful out here. There's so many cool places to go. When Justin came down with me, the end of last month, I took him out to some volcanoes and some really cool places, and he was like, "Dude, this place is amazing. This place is absolutely amazing." And I said, "That's why I want to live here. This is my pit stop, guys. I'm done. I'm not moving anyplace. I'm not going anyplace. Unless Tracy said, hey, I'm tired of Arizona, this is where I'm at, dude." Weist. Anyways, but yeah, this is my final ticket. I'm not going anyplace from here. I love it here. You know, I've got to adjust myself for the time zones because Rabbit and I go on at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday here, and so when I start work, I already told my boss. I said, "Look, I got a live stream at 4 o'clock," and he looked at me like, "What?" I said, "Dude, we promote ham radio, and we just have a good time and talk about everything." And he goes, "Okay." I was like, "All right, cool, that'll work." So, and then you know, I mean, this is after work time for me. It's 4:30 now, but yeah, I'd have to scramble to get to the near stream now. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a blast, and this is my last stop. I'm not leaving here unless Tracy says, "Hey, I'm tired of Arizona." Then I'll contemplate and consider it. But
Gotcha.
I'm definitely not moving back to New England.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, if you have never been out west, then I definitely recommend everybody has to take a trip out west at least once to see what it looks like, because it's so strange after living in the Northeast your whole life, where there's hills and there's trees and there's just town after town after town after town, and then you go out west where it's like very flat, no trees unless you're in like a river valley, and it's like
If
here's a
you're north of
town.
Phoenix, going towards Flagstaff, and going up to the Aspen, or not the Aspen, yeah, the Aspen forest and stuff up there. There's no trees down here. The closest thing you got is a creosote tree. I
Yeah,
have one in the
it's like
backyard.
it's so strange and foreign to what we're used to, and there's like space in between towns. It's crazy, but it's beautiful, and I will say, like, when I didn't want to come home, I was like, I want to live in Wyoming. I could totally live out there for sure. Just to not have so many people and so much traffic around that you just feel like you're being squeezed all the time.
Well, traffic here sucks, just
Yeah?
like any place else. Except Phoenix isn't bad. Phoenix has a bunch of loops that go around it. So, I mean, if you miss your exit, you could just go back around Phoenix and come back out the other side again. No, we don't have any Joshua trees here, brother. That's California. But yeah, we do. Depending on the elevation and the temperature, we have saguaro cactuses, cholla cactuses. We have the little barrel cactuses. We have scrub brush and all sorts of weird freaking things. At night, I can take you to a spot. We can take a black light and look at thousands of scorpions just walking around. You don't even see them, except at night.
Wow.
And wolf spiders, if you take a regular flashlight out in the desert and you shine it across the sand, you'll see little twinkles like diamonds. Those are the eyes of the spiders. It's really cool. Wolf spiders. Dude, the desert's amazing. The life out here is amazing. Everything out here is amazing, and I just can't stop talking about it. I mean,
Now, what's interesting, and I'll get nerdy for a second, is coming off the heels of the VHF contest this past weekend, where I was struggling on 1.2 gigahertz, and a lot of it had to do with the location and the green that's out, because there's two things. You get into UHF and higher, and two of the things that attenuate signals are moisture in the air and then foliage. I always struggled. I cannot say the damn word. Is foliage. Yes, there it is. Foliage. All right. So the leaves and the humidity work against us, and that's a problem in the Northeast, because we got green and we got humidity. But you're out there and you're talking about that
out here. You can talk for hundreds of thousands, or hundreds or thousands of miles out here.
Yeah.
And there's a part, you can go to Mount Lemmon, which is at 10,000 feet just south of me in Tucson. 10,000 feet, brother. You can sit there and point your antenna at any direction you want, and you can drive up to the top.
Yeah.
And there's a state park or national park up there. So, I mean, there's peaks out here that you can just walk up to, climb up to. And when I mean climb, there's paths to get up there. But Mount Lemmon is 10,000 feet in the southeast. You can go to Kit Peak, which is giant observatory. You can go up there. They have some amateur radio events up there. They talk peak to peak. It's like 100 miles.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, you get up to, and I know this because I just read a book on it, but like you get up like about 10,000 feet or so, and you're looking at a footprint on 2 meters of 100 miles. Like,
oh yeah, you get up above that thermal layer. Yeah, you're good. Mike, come on down, man. Come play radio. Just put all your shit on a pallet, strap it down. Wait, no. Put all your shit on a pallet, ship it to me, drop it to the house here, or you can drop it to the office, and then I'll drag it to the house, and then you fly into Sky Harbor, which is Phoenix Airport. Southwest flies right in here out of TF Green or wherever you want to leave, and come visit, dude. Come play radio. You could use this as a base camp. Rent a car and go wherever the hell you want. You wanna
Just
play
bring
some
that
serious
Utica beer
radio.
with you.
Yeah,
Bring that
I gotta
Utica
bring some
with-
Utica Club out. Yeah, ship a pallet of Utica Club out.
Oh, dude,
Yes, it's
no
might
problems
happen.
with that. Dude, we will be making antennas. You ship out a pallet of freaking
Yeah.
Utica Club. We
Oh my
might not get on the air, but I guarantee
Yeah.
we'll have some fun doing it.
Make those resonate those beer cans.
Yeah,
There
but
you
it
go.
just goes. That's interesting, and I know not everyone. Yeah, I was playing a VHF contest on 900 megahertz and then 1.2 gigahertz, and you get into the UHF frequencies like that. They're not as common, right? But those things matter so much more, the leaves and the moisture in the air and all that. But then if you get even higher, a guy was playing for me today at the Hamfest, a CW QSO he made in the VHF contest on I think he was on 2.4 gigahertz, and he did a rain scatter QSO on CW. And so if you get higher, then and the wavelengths start to drop shorter. So if you get to like 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, you can do rain scatter. So you're scattering off the storm clouds and the moisture in the air. And I mean, it was just so wild to listen to. And there's some of these like really obscure elements of propagation when you get into the higher bands it's just phenomenal. But it
Well,
just
when
gives you that
Bricker
much
gets-
more of an appreciation for what we do and being able to get out there.
When Bricker gets his Bricker House gets his little mini rotators setup thing built, I want to get one of those kits, build one. I want to take it up to Mount Lemon, sit up there and just and just rock it, just have some fun, I've got the 991 Alpha and I've got the 7000, both through VHF and UHF.
Nice.
50 watts, but 50 watts is 50 watts. So, get a good antenna and just point and shoot.
It's not difficult to get gain. When I'm up there doing 900 and 1.2 gigs, I've got like a 14. The Yagi, I think it's both of them are 14 dBi gain.
Well, once you get past
14 or 15
2.4
elements, and that's only a few feet long.
Well, when you get past 2400, you start getting to the loop Yagis, and those are a better performer than a straight.
That's what I have a loop for 1.2. So
Nice. Okay.
yeah.
10 gigahertz. I have worked at W2SZ, Whiskey 2 Sleepy,
Nice.
Zebra, VHF, UHF contest. I've worked everything up to 24 gigahertz. That's nuts. When you have
I love it.
1500 watt legal power on 220, that's fun. That's when you cook hot dogs.
Yeah. Nice. Izzo, what are you doing for field day, brother?
I'm working that day, and then when I get home,
Okay.
believe it or not, I'm trying to resurrect the.
Wait, Izzo's
Eagle-
working?
Yeah, I got to work. I know. Go figure. I'm in the process of resurrecting the Eagle One, my original Eagle One.
You were saying that. Okay.
So, I might just throw it on the back of the truck, back the truck in the backyard and play with it, or the inflatable antenna from Reliance,
Okay.
and just set it up for a couple hours, and go
I have a
play. Sit
brand
on the
new
back,
inflatable antenna.
sit on the back porch, fire up the tiki candles, have a cigar, and just play. Whether I make 10 contacts or 100, who cares? That's pretty much
Yeah.
because the bands are so overpopulated. Is that the good word?
Yeah.
It becomes sometimes it
Congested, yeah.
becomes congested. It becomes a little frustrated for me sometimes. So I usually don't sit and call CQ field day. I just go up and down on the VFO and hit and pounce, hit and pounce, hit
Okay.
and pounce. But I'm thinking in the back of my head that's what I'm going to do, unless something changes. And maybe I know in years past I've always wanted to hit like 2 or 3 clubs. Just walk in and say, hey guys, what's going on? Throw them $10-20 as a donation and give me a hot dog or whatever. Sit down. Eyeball QSOs are always great.
Yep.
But I think, like I said, I got to see what the weather is. But like I said, I think I really want to play with that inflatable antenna. So
Have you ever done field day QRP, Izzo?
no, I've done winter field day QRP. I did that
Okay.
with the 705, and I was nervous. And I said, I'm not going to be able to get this done. I'm going to get frustrated. I raised the bar too high.
Okay.
And then once I made my first contact, I didn't care. I think I did about 40, maybe 50 contacts. But it was fun. It was just, maybe that's why I'm more of a winter field day guy. There's less congestion.
Okay.
There's a little bit of, I know some people like to incorporate a POTA and their field day site all in one. To me, I like to kind of keep it separated. But the 705. What antenna did I use? I think I used a Reliance antenna for that too.
Nice.
As a sloper in the backyard. Just had fun. Sat outside inside the tent.
Yeah.
Kept me nice and warm.
Yeah, I'm debating on what to do because right now the weekend looks pretty clear.
Right.
My older son I got to bring to work on Saturday, like afternoon evening shift. But other than that, no games or anything else. Like not, and in the past, the timing, I think, that makes field day a challenge is it's in June, towards the end, and so you deal with things like high school graduations, weddings, showers, all kind. It seems like there's always something going on. I've always had a conflict, so I've never done field day. Never. I've been a ham for 5 years. I've popped up, when I've had like a little bit of free time to pop in, see if there's two major sites out here for field day. I popped into each of them to, kind of check them out, see, and stuff. But it was like, I'm out on my way somewhere doing something and I'm going to stop in for a half hour and that's it. Right. Not operate. So I've never done field day, and I'm actually thinking about, maybe I go and, help out for a little bit, but I'm also thinking about doing something just, which maybe sounds odd or counterintuitive to field day, which is just going out and operating in my backyard. But I don't have a station set up at home. I've probably made, like a couple dozen contacts from my house and that's it. Like I operate portable. Like I'm going out to parks and summits. Like that's what I do. That's where I go play radio. I don't do a whole lot other than, some VHF, UHF nets from the house. So well, maybe I go out in the backyard with the 705. I got one of the new batteries for it, and let's just see how long this thing goes, at 5 watts and what I can do. How much of a challenge or frustration is it or not? And just kind of go at my own pace. So I don't know.
So here's my do you guys do this too? Like, for instance, I know I should not really be looking at the propagation reports.
Yeah.
But when I see the sunspots sitting in the 30s and 40s, excuse me, and for using voice, there you go. So there's another component of it.
Okay.
Will I have as much fun making only 5 contacts versus 50? But do I do QRP 10 watts or less, or do I just run 50 to 100? Yeah, I mean, because you got 2 radios. Actually, 1 radio I could just turn it down anyway. But the thrill to me would be to run it as QRP. But I think the CW guys are the cat's meow to run QRP, whether field day, whether it's a POTA, whether it's I don't care what, or just you're sitting home just having fun, period. I think those guys are, I envy that, but because I just can't get it down yet. I'm not making excuses, but I just know for me psychologically, I always, like every day, about 2 to 3 times a day, I look at that propagation report. And I've gotten better to understanding it and learning it. So I don't know. Are we overthinking it? Just go and just play. You know what I mean? Just go out and play. Who cares?
Go and
'cause
play.
like I said, because like I said, on field day, and I've done this before. I've been here in the garage and I've played field day at night. I've been on my back deck, get a couple lobster rolls, and usually, believe it or not, a cream ale. Now that Shannon showed us
Nice.
that Berkshire Field Day ale or whatever beverage,
Yeah, we're
adult beverage, that may be something I'm gonna see if. I mean, that would be kind of cool. Just to me, I like that. I like just being by myself sometimes because I've gotten so used to that doing that with POTAs. I like that.
Yeah, the reason I'm thinking, and like I know, like there's some people who get upset, like, oh, you're operating from your house or this or that, but it's like, listen, like this past weekend, and you'll see the video when it drops on Tuesday. I hugged a ton of gear for 6 bands up a summit for the VHF contest. I was on the air for 2.5 hours. I had an hour commute to get down there, an hour commute to get back. It was 25 minutes to get up the hill, 20 minutes to get down. It's always easier coming down.
Always easier coming down.
And it took the setup took about 45 minutes to set up antennas for 6 different bands. It took probably a half hour to take it down. It's always easier to take it down than set it up. But all this work and effort or whatever, for 34 contacts, but 34 contacts on 6 bands, including 1.2 gigs.
But did you have fun?
I did.
Answer the question.
I did.
All
I
right,
had
then.
fun.
So
And I learned and everything. And it's like, I rarely operate from the backyard or whatever. And where I was going is I can go out and I can play around for an hour or two, and then maybe I come in and I make dinner or do dishes or this or that, but like I'm still at the same location. I'm still at the same site. And so I was limited because of how I did the VHF contest. I did it as what's called single op portable. So I'm QRP and I have to be portable. But like field day, you got to stay within like a certain meter or yard or feet restriction. You set up your station. You can't go too far from that. And so I was like, well, if I wanted to do it from home, then I could kind of do it on my time. And
Mike,
I could go out and I could play around for a few hours here or a few hours there. Maybe, and it would give me an opportunity, if I'm up late, let's see what happens on 160 with 5 watts and a random wire, like let's see what happens. So
Hey, Mike.
I'm kind of tempted for that.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
He's going to tell
I'm
you.
45 minutes from HRO, Phoenix. A. B. Figure out how to tube up your antennas in those cardboard tubes. Ship them out here. We can do the September
Absolutely,
contest
Jody.
from the top of Mount Lemon. And it can be portable.
Snap.
No. Listen to me.
Yeah.
It can be portable, and we can drive up to the top. And
My man.
you can we can go right up to the top and we can set up and nobody will bother us and it'll be an absolutely freaking hoot, dude. And then when we're done, we just pack everything up, shove it back in the tubes, and ship it back to you. I've got the 991 Alpha and I've got the 7000. We got 2 radios. We can run VHF and UHF, and I guarantee you've got the boxes to make all the other bands.
We can make it happen.
Inverters, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, inverters. Yeah,
I don't.
dude.
I haven't done transverters yet, and I might have one coming very soon for 900. But
Okay.
but on 1.2 gigs and 33 centimeters, like I'm FM only. But if there's people out there,
Ham Manning, Connecticut. There, let me see where it is. 10,000 is high. Yes, it is. A. B. The road is paved. It's not like It's not like
Is it like
Mount
Mount Washington? It's not like Mount
it's not
Wa-
like
oh.
Mount Washington, and you don't have to pay to drive up there. And once you get up there, you can set up, do your thing. There's some park rangers that might pop around or whatever. I also have the combination to the gates. So yeah, dude, it would be a blast, man. Come up on a Friday. We do the contest Saturday, and pack up Sunday and head back Monday. It's a 4-day weekend.
cool.
See, my option B is to do a salty wall.
Yeah.
So I envy again. Walt is one of the guys, probably the top 10 guys in this hobby that I envy. That I should be doing more. Especially when I have a beach that's a 7-minute walk that way, literally.
Well,
It's
that's
not.
your fault.
Come on,
But
Don.
the problem is, but here's
Come on,
but here's
Don.
here. Excuse me. But here's the challenge. There is a seawall that runs about 20 to 30 feet higher than the beach, so my signal gets blocked. But I found taking a walk the other day, when you come down the access stairs to the beach, I'm part of the association. There are these holes that looks like people have used either the umbrellas or fishing rods.
Yeah.
And you know the first thing I was saying, an antenna mast. And just run
Get
it
yourself a
and just
piece
do
of PVC pipe, tap it in, clean it
tap
out.
it in and call it a day.
Yeah.
Bring my little portable antenna. My portable umbrella. It's going to slap to the chair. It's going to slap to the chair. I got the beach wagon, and just do so. So I might just do a salty wall just on field day too in the afternoon. Get home by 5. It's not dark until 9 o'clock. So what? Just go play for 2 hours maybe, and then come home and operate from home. I don't. I got to look at the rules because I don't want to. I don't want to screw up anything else for logs or just submit. What do you call those logs?
I know what you're talking about.
Listener logs are
Yeah, you don't operate as a field day station. If you're going to the beach, I don't know if it's a POTA park, but just do it as a POTA, do it as a tiles on the air, and you talk about that beach wagon, that POTA wagon. This is how I roll. You got to have that wagon, man.
Yep.
You can take anything you want with you when you have a wagon.
Let me tell you something. I bought that wagon. It's a beautiful wagon. It just sits up here on the rafters on the hooks, and I love it. I use it for everything, but it's fun. I load it up with some ham gear. I've learned, though, don't overload it because coming home is a pain in the neck to pull a wagon.
It's harder to drag it home than it is to drag it out.
That's on I gotta get myself a golf cart or something. Or electric bike or something.
Oh yeah,
there's lots of golf carts out here.
We've upgraded the POTA wagon to a POTA golf cart.
Exactly. Oh, trust me. The imagination when I'm at work and there's nothing going on and I'm looking at things and how much is it going to cost and this and that and get something used to start and this and that, and if I have to replace a golf cart battery, who cares?
Put a mobile radio in there with a big whip and let's do it, Izzo.
There we go.
But that's my thing. I want to do something every year. I try to do something a little bit different by myself. And I mean, at night, I love it here at night because the neighborhood gets nice and quiet. I come out to the garage. I just run a fan to circulate the air. I run some red lights just to kind of keep everything mellow, and that's fun. That to me is like after 9 o'clock.
Izzo has the red light district.
After midnight, Izzo's in the red light district.
I'm in the red light district.
Oh, it's funny. I'm sorry.
He's getting to some of that DXXX.
Damn it.
Use a DTOS antenna and look.
Wait a minute.
What's Eric talking about? Subarus. Yeah, we're both double clicking it.
Yeah, right.
That was the POTA SUV. So who said the POTA SUV earlier? That was like Shannon on the Bruin Activate yesterday or whatever. But
I've got the POTA SUV. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you do have a great POTA SUV. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, let's just all move out to Arizona with Tortoise, and we're gonna make our little ham conclave. Our little, around
here cheap.
What do they call that? Those
an HOA?
No. What do they call those things in Israel? That's like a commune.
Kibbutz.
Yeah.
You want a ham kibbutz?
Yes.
This way here, when we get all tired of each other, we can just go back to our yurts or whatever, right?
Yes. So we're going to have, and we'll each have our own little ham,
wait, Shannon, wait a minute.
Our little own ham habitats.
Wait. If we have a kibbutz, that means Rabbit has to get circumcised.
Wow,
Yeah, and
that
I was thinking
was
about Rabbit too. He should run it.
that
Rabbit,
was
if you got a
possibly
hose tower,
TMI.
man. Rabbit, if you got a hose, why don't you operate from the firehouse and just run something off the hose tower down? You got anything like
would be
that?
awesome.
I don't
You're
want to
muted,
know.
dude.
I don't
You're
want to.
Muted,
muted.
man.
I don't want to know about Tortoise's ham.
No, we don't have a hose tower.
Hose tower.
No,
But we
I
have-
don't have a hose tower, sir. Or
We have a
ma'am.
siren tower, but there's already antennas up there. There's a lot of RF up there.
There is. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
a lot of VHF
thought
and
about it.
UHF.
yeah. I've thought about it.
You know what? Just all you have to do is just tie a rope with a pulley at the top, and when you want to run up your half wave, you just run it up like a flag. As long as you're a quarter wavelength from the longest frequency, you're all right, man. And VHF is going to be 19 inches. You should be fine, sir.
You know what I've been doing with all my Reliance antennas? I built out some counterpoise with some banana plugs and some other things. Just to,
Okay.
I don't know why. I want to run counterpoise on on all my antennas now. I think I should. I done it. I don't know if it's helping. It's hard to tell with band conditions, but I'm still making I'm still making contacts, so it hasn't defeated what I have. But to me, 17 feet of wire, just put on a lug connector, threw it on the Reliance, and here at the house, and it's hot, it's hidden, it's.
That's what
probably
I've
can't
been
hurt.
thinking about. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that about doing that more because a lot of the end feds that I have, some are some of the older Reliance ones, some are the Tentenas and others. The majority don't have the counterpoise lug on, so I've traditionally just run with the with the coax as the counterpoise and choked, at the feed
Right.
point,
Same
or
here.
choked a little
Yep.
bit down
Same
and
here.
stuff, and it's worked, and you can get into like I haven't done whisper testing or anything complicated to see okay what's better, what's not,
here.
but and it's definitely a polarizing issue, like the whole counterpoise or using
He said
the wire or
polarizing.
coax on an end fed, but
Or is
But
it
more
reverse?
guys, Mike, are talking
But,
about it.
yeah.
It's effect. We're going to see a better effectiveness, so they claim. But again,
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah,
I
you
just had
will.
the time just to run some whisper tests to truly just to see it in front of me. Yeah, it's one of those things of there's faith, and then there's proof.
Yep.
You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
but
exactly.
right now, I'm running on faith. So my coffee and ham radio antenna, definitely running the counterpoise on that. Might pull that out. But like I said, luckily, I do have one Reliance that does not have a lug on it, but that's all right. But like I said, I'm still choking things anyway. So
Well, on
What's
on
the,
Shannon, no.
what's that screen
Oh.
there you got there?
Well, that's what I was going to bring up on Shannon's conversation about a kibbutz in Arizona. I'll move everything around. I'll switch screens here. So this is North Casa Grande. So this is Casa Grande right here. If you guys can see my mouse moving around on the screen, I don't know if you can or not.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so I live in the northernmost community. This is Ghost Hollow and this is Ghost Ranch. I live in the most northern part of Casa Grande. This is I-10 and this is Business 10 and 387. So when you zoom out, I live in a volcanic bowl. And then right here is Phoenix. It's not that far. My job is literally a 40-minute commute.
Okay.
But when she was talking about going up, kibbutz area, you can come down here. This is Picacho Peak. This is a very popular soda spot. You can climb up to there's the trail to climb up to the top. It's a very popular soda spot. But I lived out here. Let me see. There it is. When I lived here years ago, I lived right here in this spot here. But what was nice about this spot is all of this area back here, because of the 2008 housing crash, these are all open lots, all back here, all over here. There's
How much
so
money
much.
do we? How much money do we have in the account right now? Or do I need to ask Beer Snack for some clubhouse funds?
Beer Snack might be able to kick some in. They sold this house for 386, and this was with 5 acres.
Oh snap!
Yeah. This is Owlhead Buttes, which is another popular place to come hang out. There's actually a bird ranch here. But look at how open this is.
Where's the nearest Walmart?
Hour
Hour
my
away?
house? From
Yeah,
my
well, or
house?
whatever. Well, just in
So
general area.
this is my house, and Walmart's over here someplace.
Cool. Okay.
Not very far. It's about 10-minute, 15-minute drive. But this whole area, all the way down 10, is becoming developed. The only area they haven't touched right now is everything out here.
Now, Mike, are
And
those protected lands? By is there any type of like, is
Bureau
it
of Land
Indian?
No, it's all BLM land. All this area here is BLM land until you get up into this area here, which is Gila River Indians here. But all this land.
Now, what
down
is
here,
Now, what does that mean? What does that
Bureau of
acronym
Land
mean?
Management. The government owns it. Nobody can touch it. It's protected, but you can live out here 14 days at a time. You can take a camper, park, stay 14 days, and then move 5 miles, and then stay another 14 days. But what I was talking about with Mike is Mount Lemon. And these are all the trails, and you can drive up here. And this is 10,000 feet. This whole area here. Now, this community, there was a fire here about 15 years ago that burnt a lot of houses. You can see how dark the forest is here. But there's everything from black bear to mountain lions up here all year round. But there's plenty of places to park, set up, and work radio up here. And that's just north of Tucson. There's Tucson right here. And if you're interested in mines, copper and silver and gold, there's some nice mines down here. And then the Missile Base Museum. Where's the Missile Base Museum? This is Green Valley here. Where's the Missile Base Museum? Hold on a second. Let me type that in.
Mike, while you're doing that, are these full-time residents versus those who come in as the winter birds? The snowbirds in their RV pad.
Snowbirds go out towards Quartzsite. So here's the Missile Base Museum, and this is right next to one of the mines here. But this is the Missile Base Museum, and this is the discount antenna right here. And I was parked right here this morning, or this afternoon for the rest of y'all.
Cool. Look at that. Nice.
But that's the discount antenna, and this is the actual missile base right here. And this is the this slides back, and the missile's underneath there. But there's a bunch of other missile bases all around the area down here. That if you know somebody who knows where they're at, that would be me. I can take you out there and you can check stuff out. But Arizona is very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Volcanic. I took, where is it? Geez, I was just out here.
Well, he's looking that up, guys. I gotta jump. My dog's been losing their mind for the past hour. I gotta figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I hear him in the background.
Yeah, I don't know.
And this is Kit Peak, the observatory.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Rabbit.
Yeah, man. 73 guys.
All right.
73
Bye,
Rabbit.
Rabbit. 7-3.
Good night, Rabbit.
Good night, Rabbit.
Where'd he go? Okay, you got him. Okay, but yeah, that's Kit Peak. We can go up to Kit Peak, Mike. That's Kit Peak Observatory.
Oh, cool.
And it's you have to get permission to drive up there at night because obviously light pollution. But yeah, Kit Peak Observatory is a really cool place to hang out during the day. They always have stuff going on. Oh, wait a minute. Is this it? Yep, there it is. This is all part of a volcano chain, and this is all volcanic rock right here. Let me open this up. This is a volcano. This is the direction it blew out in.
Is it dormant now?
You can. Oh yeah, very dormant. You can drive right into it, right here, up through the roads, and there's a radio tower up here. But yeah, there's all sorts of volcanoes. Arizona was a very volcanic area. Then you have
I didn't
Pinal
know
Air
that.
Park. Yeah, very volcanic area. So if you look at all the airplanes, this is a scrapyard for commercial aircraft.
Okay.
This is all
Oh, the
commercial
boneyard.
Boneyard. Yeah.
So that's the
No,
boneyard.
this is not the boneyard.
No.
This is not Davis Monthan. This is Pinal Air Park. This is for commercial.
So, okay.
And I'm going to show you something really cool, Izzo. Do you see this building?
Yeah.
You're old enough to remember Air America, right?
No, I don't. That doesn't ring a bell.
You ever see the movie Air America?
That sounds familiar.
Okay, just think
No.
about the CIA.
Okay.
This is where Air America started. Right here. Yes.
Oh, wow.
This is where Air America started, in this little building right here. This is all barbed wire fence. This is all owned by the CIA.
Okay. So the planes that we see on the ground there, they're
Yeah.
used. Are they taken out of service, or they're just staging them?
Yep, they're fully taken. Like, this is a 747 that's been stripped down. The engines are removed. There's some 737s. There's a lot of 747s out here. There's another one. Hey, look. Gee, I wonder what airline that belongs to.
Oh, look at that.
Look at them all, dude.
So now what happens?
So there's some
So
more
what?
747s here.
Okay. What? So what in the chronological? They get flown down there.
They get
Certain
flown down
things are
here.
stri-
They get parked and pulled. It's like a junkyard for airplanes, except they're certified aircraft parts.
But it's still a bone. But it's a boneyard, though, right?
Right, but it's for commercial aircraft. Now the boneyard for military is Davis Monthan, which is right here. This is Davis Monthan. This is the military boneyard. You can see all the B-52s getting cut up here. I mean, literally cut up, dude.
And then what happens after they're? So how come the metal's not scrapped out or other usage
They
of
they pull all the useful parts out, and then they scrap them out. Now, the ones that are in what's called dry storage, that would be these aircraft over here. These are C-5A Galaxies. We have a boatload of F-15s.
It literally looks fake.
F-14s.
It looks like you're looking at Legos right now.
Yeah, it does.
It's
doesn't
so
it?
crazy.
Yeah,
I bet you Miles would love this, huh?
Yeah.
He
so
loves to look at Google Earth, so
So yeah, you can check out Davis Monthan online, but like these are all A-10s. There's a couple F-14s here.
Oh, yeah.
There's helicopters here. There's F-15s. There's F-16s here that they can regenerate. What do we have here? We have some more F-15s. Somebody in the chat throw what that is. It looks familiar, and I can't. God, they look like old thuds. But yeah, there's extra parts for extra planes over here. These are F-15 cockpits and frames. And planes broke down. I mean, this is a C-5A Galaxy.
If you zoom in really close, I
That's
bet
as far-
you'll. I bet you'll see some Motorola radios.
But yeah, this is the infamous boneyard
Yeah.
in Tucson. I mean, there's KC-135s. There's some radar planes.
Yep. That's
I
cool.
mean, yeah, this place
That
is
is so cool.
And then they have other stuff, because it's dry storage. I mean, look at all the C-130s. I mean, just C-130.
I mean, there's not much there to destroy them, right? It's not, you
No.
couldn't do that here. You got salt water and
they
you
would-
got snow and,
Yeah, they would rot. They would literally rot and deteriorate. So these are all in cold. I mean, we just brought 3 more B-52s out of dry storage out here. Regenerated them, had each one up within a month.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it was that fast. There was a bunch of other planes that they regenerated out of here too. I mean, look at all the planes, man.
Yeah.
Look, there's bones, B-1s, B-1 bombers that they're pulling parts from to maintain the other B-1 bombers. I mean, look at them all. Oh wow, look at that. There's some Blue Angels, F-18s.
Mike Smith said F5. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that was the other.
I think that was
aircraft
the other
or-
plane that he was
Okay.
asking what it was
Yeah.
was the F5.
Was that an F-5? That was down here.
Yeah.
Or was that? Yeah,
All
that was
on the left. There you go.
F5? Yeah, yeah, it may be. Yeah. They don't have the tips on the wings. That's what was throwing me off. They don't all have the tips. So yeah, F5, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean that's
Cool.
Davis Mountain. That's the big infamous boneyard out in the middle of nowhere. Well, in the middle of Tucson, anyways. Oh, by the way, Davis Mountain also. All these revetments, those all have A-10s in them. This is the A-10 training base. So A-10s fly in and out of here every day. And they also have some drone runways and some other parking revetments over here. But yeah, that's Tucson in a nutshell. Davis Mountain Air Force Base.
Hamnetics asks where are the saucers?
The Hoosers?
51.
Jody wants to know where
Oh,
the
Area
saucers are.
Oh, Area 51. You guys want to see? Really? Hold on.
Well, the last time I looked, Google Earth is blocked. Obviously, that area is blocked out.
No, it's not. It's right
I
there.
thought it was.
So this is the dry lake bed. This is the really long runway, and that's as close as you're going to get. That's probably 3 to 4 meter resolution, but this is Area 51, dude. You're not the satellite's not going to tie in any closer. But that's Groom Lake, and then you go like this, and you zoom out. There's nothing there, man. I mean, it's literally in the area, in the middle of nowhere, dude.
So speaking of Jody, I got to show this real quick. I gotta.
Security's going to be knocking on towards.
So Jody dropped this into Discord.
Jody, I love you, man. That's friggin'
I
awesome.
know, that's great. That's great.
Hey, we need to get that
That
shirt
should
printed
be,
today.
yeah, that's a new T-shirt idea.
D-XXX.
Yeah.
Ham radio in the red light district.
Oh, hey, I got to give a shout out.
Go ahead.
I don't know if anyone, I'm going to embiggen me, has noticed the new
Embiggen me?
hat.
Yes, that is a hat.
And
It's
the
cool.
Leave No Band Behind on it and everything. So I just got it in the mail today.
Is that a
and-
ham hat's hat?
A what?
A ham hat's hat. Ham hats. Ham hats guy. The guy, the ham that does the ham hats.
So it's from Pat, who does on Etsy Gear Forever Designs.
Oh, okay.
Let me let's see here. I can probably share. Let's see here. Stop that. And let's see, how do I share a page? Boom. There's that. Is it sharing now? Or I gotta add it to it. Add. Do you guys see it or not?
There you go.
There it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
way to
you
go.
got it. What are you doing? I'm not touching it. My hand's right here.
Who's
brand new here?
Something weird is going on.
Yeah, it's acting
All right,
stupid.
there it is.
Oh, there we go. Gear Forever Designs.
Yeah, it's doing something weird on my end.
It's up. Leave your fingers off. It's good.
Look at the tank. I like the tank now.
Yeah, I do. Oh, that is cool. I didn't see that. I'd like to get the tank with my call sign. Then I could be Tank Radio.
Tank.
Gentlemen,
Yeah, let me remove that.
Are we gonna put a bow on this thing?
Yeah, we got to start doing that. So I want to get that. I'll drop a link in the chat. I don't have any codes, not affiliate. I paid for it, and my other hat's from Pat. But yeah, I wanted to get something with the leave no band behind on there, and rep my mantra. So
how many people have looked at your hat and went, the hell does that mean?
I this is the first time I've worn it is on the stream.
Oh, nice.
So,
Okay.
Yep.
Well, it's a beautiful hat, sir. It
Thank
fits
you,
your head,
thank you.
sir.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay. Chris says I need to get antennas up at my house. Yes, I do. I'm still shh, don't tell my landlord, but I'm still trying to figure out how to get some cables outside. I think I have it figured out, but we're gonna go from there.
So you're only renting?
Yeah, I'm renting right now. You think I got money to buy a house?
I don't know.
Tortoise has money, but he doesn't have tortoise money.
I mean,
that's all I'm
what kind of windows do you have? Do you have like regular
big horizontal slide windows? No, I already got a plan. I already have a plan. So in one of the back bedrooms, they have one of those cable TV pass-throughs through the wall. I'm gonna put 2 of them right here.
There you go. Repurpose it.
No, I'm not gonna repurpose it. I'm gonna put 2 brand new ones in.
New drill.
Exactly.
There you go.
But I'm in an HOA, and I didn't see any antenna restrictions on the HOA. And I asked my landlord, I said, who pays the HOA stuff? He goes, I do. I said, cool. But so
just tell him it's for your SDR receiver. That's all you get. Because technically
I got
your
a tree in the
radio is
backyard.
receiving. Okay.
I got a tree in the backyard, and I'm going to go from this corner of the house over here, right over the top of the house, with my end-fed half wave. And then
Color
in the
black
back,
wire, and they're not going to see it.
Yep, and in the back, I'm going to put. I've got my tram dual band VHF UHF, and that's all I need to get on the road on the air. And I've got all the coax I need, so we should be good to go. I just got to put the holes in the wall. Shh, don't tell anybody. So Izzo, what do you got planned? What do you got planned for this week?
What days am I off? I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, I think. Gonna see what happens. We got a big migration going on here with P25 radios. All came in. So
that sounds like fun.
I got stuff. I got tables, staging, bank
Dude,
chargers,
I am so
charging.
sorry. So sorry, Riz. Dude, it can be a nightmare sometimes. Though I know what you're going through, brother. Believe me.
It's all segregated. It's all everything is all separated out. And I'm just doing some training syllabuses with it right now. I'm keeping the PowerPoints to real simple, and it's going to be more hands-on, but I still got to do the PowerPoint of it. And I want to play some radio. Yes, and then, like I said, on Saturday night. So
there you go.
We'll see what happens.
Shannon, what are you doing this week?
Leaving. Like I have
leaving
yeah
on a jet plane.
I have
literally
I now
literally.
have like a day and a half, 2 days to pack up myself and Miles and radios and
Miles
clothing.
doesn't. Miles
And
doesn't take much. He just gets some Pop Tarts and water. He's fine.
And a backpack, exactly.
you know
Exactly.
and
Couple
pack
pairs of
everything
underwear.
up into some suitcases and get to the airport and head to England. I mean, I like think about it and I probably overthink about it and I'm going to stress about it, but really it's like England is, it's not the moon, right? They have shops there. They have
Yeah, exactly. You
Amazon
can buy
there.
what you
Worst
want.
case scenario, if I forget something, then I can always just buy it there.
Exactly. I mean, that's how my dad used to travel. He would go with anything. He'd go to Walmart or Kmart or Montgomery Ward's. Yes, I said Montgomery Ward's, and he would just buy what he needs and then throw it out and continue on. I was like, why do you do that? It never made sense to me. But he never had a bag packed with anything other than his shaving stuff and toiletry items. That was it. And some shirts and pants and socks, and that was it. Anything else? T-shirts, underwear, whatever. He'd buy it and throw it out. I was like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
it's like the most important thing is just bringing my radio. And really, I don't even have to bring my radio because I'm going to be staying with a radio ham anyway. So there's going to be radios, but I want to bring my G90 because I'm familiar with that radio. So,
He's
I'll
gonna have
feel more
limited.
I'll feel more comfortable using my own radio. Plus, the radio that he
Mhm.
has, like one of them, it's a ELAD, which is a very nice, desirable radio. But I think it's only like 5 watts QRP. And he said he had like 100 watt amp, but I don't know. I'm happy to use the G90 at 20 watts. I always had good luck with it. Now, of course, the solar cycle was a little different back then, around like 2020,
Oh
but
yeah.
I'm going to bring the G90 and then we'll have the other radios too. So we'll have plenty of radios to play with. I'm going to have handy talkies. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to bring a handy talkie to Tank Fest. Hopefully they let me bring it in and use it and transmit because I want to call CQ on whatever their calling frequency is. It won't be 14652. It'll be like, I'm going to make
It's
my
140.
own.
It's 145.5.
I'm gonna
Right,
make my
yeah.
own challenge. the
And
one
145
the,
alive. They already have it.
Yeah. I'm gonna make the 145 alive
Excellent.
challenge.
No.
Hey, and they do have radio shops
I
there,
have
too.
one request. I have one
What's that?
special request while you're over there,
What is that?
and it's 4 meters.
Yeah,
Please make a
leave
contact on 4 meters.
no
Please
band
make a
behind.
contact on 4 meters for me.
Okay.
Leave no band behind. It's on the head.
Yes, leave no band behind. And I was talking about that honestly when I was doing,
Yeah.
studying for the test and looking at the band plan. I'm like, first of all, their allocation on 6 meters is much smaller than ours.
Oh, is it?
And then
Okay.
their allocation on 4 meters is like also very small.
Yeah, it's not a
so,
lot.
I thought that was sort of interesting. And supposedly, like, they're in the very long process of like us potentially being able to use 4 meters. I've heard. I don't know if that will ever come to fruition.
There's a
but-
couple testing stations here in the States, if that's what you mean. Yeah, they've been testing it, and there's a couple experimental licenses out there. But that'd be neat to see. I'd love to see it. And
Yeah.
What
there's
are you
even
doing
talk
this week,
about
Mike?
GMRS taking over a couple of the unused low band frequencies, which I think would be great for that. Especially like I talked about earlier with I won't say the F word. I'll say leaves on the trees, right? Like
Foliage.
Foliage.
that's low band, 6 meters, low band. You're gonna have much more success getting through forests and stuff like that versus UHF, where GMRS is. And so, whether you're looking at it from just like a family communication standpoint, a prepper standpoint, or anything like that, like UHF is not going to be as effective in a forest or a wooded area as other bands. It's just not going to be like that. There's going to be attenuation from the leaves and the foliage. I have to think before I say the damn word.
I've got a joke
I
for
struggle, but
tree-
anyway, like that'd be cool. And I know there's a movement to try to get some of those unused low band stuff in there. I think it'd be something neat. But
Yeah. So
yeah.
I
Hey, Mike, I
definitely
got a joke for you.
want to make a contact on 4 meters since we don't
Please,
have that
that'd be
ability
awesome.
here.
I have a joke for Mike.
Go ahead.
The trees in the forest leaves Mike upset.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Mike, what are you doing
I
this week?
struggle to say, like, and as much as I have to say it for like the nerdy things I talk about with the attenuation and everything, but that freaking F word, like I have to think before I say foliage to say it right. It's just
well, you could be saying Gloucester like Izzo. What were you saying there?
Gloucester.
Yeah, it's
Gloucester.
It's Gloucester, like
Gloucester.
claw,
Gloucester.
like a lobster
Gloucester.
claw in Gloucester.
That's how I'm gonna remember it. Then that's how I'm gonna remember it.
But yeah, Captain Wrongway said go see Callum. I think Callum is having an open house
yeah.
while we are there, so I am hoping
my
that
God.
I will get to meet the DX Commander Callum. That would be
Oh
like
my
a
God,
dream.
that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Definitely have to get a selfie
nice.
for sure.
All right, Mike, what are you doing this week?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do for field day.
Okay.
As I kind of talked about earlier, I might just operate in the backyard, like, and just have fun. I might just try to do one of the things that's on the to-do list this year is doing more satellite stuff, and I know it's probably like a crazy idea to try to do satellites on field day because of the bonus and like the points.
Dude, I mean,
and stuff, but I might just that might be one of the things. It's there's a couple things in the back of my mind, like just setting up the 705 running QRP for a while or trying satellites. Maybe I do both. I don't know. But those are a couple of the things that are on on the table. And then I'll have videos coming out Tuesday and Thursday. So
I'm going to try to do some lives this week from work on the way back, whatever. And I'm definitely going to hit a couple of the parks this week. I'm just going to keep my radio and stuff in the truck. So it's already in there. Ladies and gentlemen, or lady and gentlemen, yeah, thanks. This has been fun. Even
Absolutely
though most
fun.
of the show has been the KC1OHT show.
It has not. You were giving us a tour of the airplane boneyards.
Hey, can you not take some sarcasm? God bless. We're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you going to England, and we wish you well. And don't come back with any weird things. And have fun out there.
Don't come back with any weird things. I don't know what that means, but
I don't know, but if I could figure it out, I would tell you. It just popped into my brain. Don't come bring any weird
and
stuff.
they contrary to popular belief, they do have the internet in England, so I am going to attempt to get on. I'm not going to be able to do Brew and Activate next Friday because I'm going to be doing Tank Fest, but hopefully, the Friday after that, I'll be able to.
I'm going to say, here's what I want to say to you, Shannon. Please be care of what you say or do on the interwebs there. It is not like here. They are very censored, and they will come knocking on your door if you make a stupid comment. So just beware of what you say in jolly old England.
Do I ever make stupid comments?
No, but I'm just forewarning you.
I will be very careful to not get thrown into the Tower of London. That'd
be interesting.
But yeah, so what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I'm going to still try to make some of the live streams, basically, is what I was trying to say. It's going to be like a weird time zone change, right? I'm going to be 5 hours ahead. But that actually might sort of work a little bit to the advantage because like it'll be 10 a.m. here when Brew and Activate is starting, and it'll be like 11, 12, it'll be like 3 o'clock in the afternoon there. So
you get to sleep in.
That'll work.
Yeah, you know.
You can sleep in.
I don't know how much we're gonna sleep in because we're gonna, be, up and about and trying to do stuff. And who can sleep in when you have a
Boot in a boot.
7-year-old, right?
That's Canada.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be up at like 4:30 every night, guaranteed. Come on, Mom, let's go.
Yep.
Let's rock. Let's get a donut, get some coffee. Let's go, 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 go.
Up at 4:30 or up until 4:30, one of the two.
Yeah.
You pick.
Yeah. So, but I am gonna, I'm gonna have my phone with me. Obviously, I'm gonna have my little blogging camera, my cheap Chinese rip off of the DJ, whatever, the SJ cam. So
Okay.
hopefully I'm gonna make some videos, some content of Tank Fest, obviously, and POTA
that'd be
activations.
fun.
So
That'd be fun.
I can't promise that I'm going to edit it into something beautiful. It may just be raw footage because I really don't know how to, I don't know how to edit and do all that stuff. That's a lot of work.
Put it in your Dropbox and send it to Eric, and Eric will fix it for you.
Yeah, right. You hear that, Eric? You've been voluntold.
He's still been in the chat. He hasn't popped
Yeah.
on.
Must be a hell of a.
How
Yeah.
long
Thursday
has he
dinner
been shopping
bullshit.
for meat? Like
Yeah,
seriously,
exactly.
like
And what meat is he shopping for?
I know.
Yeah, for someone who is spending quality time shopping with the wife for Father's Day, he's spending a lot of quality time in chat.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right, Mike, you want to put a bow on this thing?
Yeah, no, that's good. And I don't know. Oh, you know what? Eric did tell me one of the things that he was shopping for.
From the back roads of New Hampshire, rain or shine, he's calling CQ with that mobile line. Eric's got his 891 and 8 tight. He's chasing them parks from morning to night. We're calling CQ, come join the ride. From salty shores to mountain highs, a motley crew with wire and drive, tossing antennas in trees to feel alive. Once a month we light up the stream. It's Northeast Ham Radio, living the dream. Izzo's in the woods with a stogie lit, got his logbook down and a chair that fits. But toss him a chip with that barbecue tang, you'll get a rant and the Hamburglar fang. Matt builds them tough and tunes them clean. Reliance hits like a well-oiled machine. Toss the wire in a tree, no need to prepare. 5-9 signals floating through the air. We're calling CQ, come join the ride. From salty shores to mountain highs, a motley crew with wire and drive, tossing antennas in trees to feel alive. Once a month we light up the stream. It's Northeast Ham Radio, living the dream. Salty Walt's got tales from the ocean tide, with a sailor's grin and that coastal pride. He wrote the book on waves and wire, a Rhode Island soul with a northern fire. If it's broke, Rob's the guy to call. He'll tear it down and rebuild it all. With a scope, a smile, and zero fear, he's the reason half our rigs still cheer. The grouch rolls deep with a pack and a plan. Sky above, ground below, mic in hand. From jump zones to parks, he's living it loud. Still grumpy as hell, but making us proud. We ain't perfect, and that's just fine. We miss a few calls and forget the time. It's happy hour when we go live. Mics get hot, and so do the vibes. So if we slur a bit or lose our roles, just blame the beer and our RF souls. Tortoise rolls slow through the woods and mud. Mass plates on the FJ, tires chewing the crud. He'll find the path where the signals roam, with the calm CQ from his overland home. Marvin's got the badge in the winter plan. He'll brave the cold with a rig in hand. When the bands are up and the tents are low, he's the ham radio guy putting on a show. I guess. From Rochester's edge with a voice so clear, Mike's rocking AM on the modern gear. He's hitting the air with that VHF bite and logging Poto till the stars say night. Todd's blowing finals at field day again. Still a proud Jenner, won't let it end. Talks baseball more than he checks his SWR, but he'll snag that contact from a mile too far. We're calling CQ, the signal's wide. From the coast to the pines on the mountainside, we're a band of hams with stories to share, tossing wire and trees, putting watts in the air. Once a month we fire up the screen. It's Northeast Ham Radio, where legends convene. To antennas and trees and friends on the air. For signals we chase and the stories we share. We laugh, we learn, sometimes we swear. But every month, you know we'll be there. This is Northeast Ham Radio. Pull up a chair.
Night,
And
y'all.
if you're still watching, we're still live. What
Yes,
are you
we are.
doing here?
Bye-bye. See ya. Love you, man.